Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Once again, I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. It's another Blue Morning show. So, more importantly, I say Blue Morning to you all. Today, we're going to cover some transfer news and also talk about the status of the ownership of the bidders, the remaining three bidders, especially what we believe is the favorite, the Todd Boehly Group, and we will also, talk about the upcoming game between Chelsea Football Club and West Ham United. So don't go anywhere. Once again, it's another Blue Morning show. So more importantly, I said Blue Morning to you all. I hope you're all doing well, and I really do mean that. So again, we're going to talk about some transfer news, and then we will talk about the favorites, what the group will believe, or the group that majority of the Chelsea fan base believe are the favorites, to take over Chelsea Football Club. But again, like I said, we will start by talking about some transfer news, and I hope you're ready for it. And I will look. Let me quickly switch the background to the Blue Morning background. And again, once again, and I hope that everybody is doing well, and I really do mean that. Nick, how are you doing it today?
Yeah, morning, coach. I know for you it's early morning.
I
For me,
cannot
it's
hear Nick yet. I'll bring.
uh.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Let me go somewhere
Yeah.
else. Hold on.
Yeah. It's morning to me. It's like 3 a.m. for me. That's why I always. Okay, no problem. So while I wait for Nick to come back, let me walk you through things we'll talk about today. We'll start by talking about what's in the news. And we will also talk about the group that we believe are the favorite to take over Chelsea Football Club from Mr. Roman Abramovich. And then we will talk about the game between West Ham United and Chelsea Football Club, which is will be played tomorrow in a few hours. If you ask me, I think tomorrow is the day. So yeah, I hope again. More importantly, let's see how. Let's go. Let's get into it immediately. So I'm going to share my screen so we'll start talking about the first topic of the day, which is transfer rumors. Again, it looks like this is one of the days I'm going to have a bit of internet issue. I hope that doesn't cause too much. Again, it looks like it's still working. Hopefully, that's the case. Uh, um, Yep, I think it's looking good. So now let me see what we have here. And already we have, let me take a look at what we have in the chat. We have Glenn in the chat, and Glenn says, "Big up, coach. Big up to you too. How are you doing? I hope if you went in for the second surgery like you talked about, I hope everything went well. We've been praying for you. I hope you do know that. Again, we've been we're like family here. That's why when I heard about it, I had to tell it to the group members so they keep you in prayers. I hope you again. I hope you went. The starting topic for us today is the transfer of Romelu Lukaku. I don't know why, even though I don't believe it is true. It looks like it is really picking up pace. The news that AC Milan wants him. I still have my argument against that. The fact that AC Milan are the biggest rival of the club that is being rumored that Romelu Lukaku will be joining Inter Milan, I think that to me makes it a no-go area. And given the fact that Romelu Lukaku himself has been trying to get on the good side of the Inter Milan fans, so I don't really see that happening. And I want to say also blue morning to my brother from the Madiba land, Tobago. He says, big up, guys. Blue morning to you too. I hope you are doing well. And he says, also, let me read what he says here. Sorry, I subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yes, people, it's important that you like the video. And the more you like the video, the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and the stream will be pushed to more people who would be interested in this particular topic. And I hope, please, you do that. TC, haven't seen you for a while. I was trying to reach you to update you on the format for the contest. Again, I hope, more importantly, I do hope that you are doing well. Nice to see you here. TC is one of the queens of the house, so it's always good to see her available to participate. Now, as I was saying, again, the Romelu Lukaku rumor, it's something that I don't know how serious it is. If anything, there's a chance he goes back to Inter Milan for on loan because we still owe them money. We haven't paid them all the money. There's all the signing fee for Romelu Lukaku. So I think that would be an easy option for us, an easy option for the club also, should they want to get him on loan. And Abshar Moha says, good morning. Morning to you, Abshar. I hope you're doing well. Please, if you haven't, be sure to smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't, if you're new here. Now, let's talk about, again, and let me just go a bit of a highlight or breeze through the topics we have today. And the case of Antonio Rudiger, it's been everywhere that Antonio Rudiger will be joining Real Madrid, or some say he's on the verge of joining Real Madrid. I don't know how truthful that is. But again, you could argue that in the case of Antonio Rudiger, that it is a bit conflicting, given the fact that all he said was he will decide on his future in a week's time or so. And given his relationship with Thomas Tuchel and how well he's done of late at the club, he's having the best moment of his career. And leaving will be a risk because you're not sure how things are going to change the moment you leave for another club. So that's why I'm not sure. I don't truly believe the rumors that he will be leaving for Real Madrid. Again, let me go through the comments in the chat. We have Pierre Kakari here who said, morning, currently positive with COVID, which is why I have been quiet the last week. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Pierre Kakari here is one of our own brothers. And again, if you believe in higher power, believe me, I'll be praying for you. I hope you get well soon. Again, it's not a good thing to hear that anybody has COVID. The symptoms can be severe to some people. And then for some people, it can be mild. Hopefully, it is mild for you, and hopefully, you get you recover as soon as possible. And Glenn says, get better soon. Yes, get better soon. Pierre, we love you here, and we always like to have you on the panel. But more importantly, get better for yourself and your family. Would be happy to see that. The delay of the ownership making a lot of things complicated. I think we can say we're getting there. I think it won't be long, then we get to know who the preferred bidder is. And the fact that Rent Group did, make a plan for, to have the final bidders vetted, or that their backgrounds or their, checked as a Premier League would want before announcing the preferred bidder. I think it's a good move, so we don't find ourselves in a situation where after the whole process, and then we find out that the owners are not eligible, the preferred bidders are not eligible to become the new owners. Yes, again, Pierre, our prayers are with you. Hopefully you get better soon. Hope Riga don't go. I hope so. But the rumor is gaining steam. That's why I am really concerned. here, get well soon, please. Absha Moha, hope we win tomorrow at home. I hope we win. That will change quite a lot because our home form has been abysmal of late, and that is nothing to be happy about. It's heartbreaking. And given Thomas Tuchel of all the good he's done, he's breaking record in a negative way too. And here, we don't have a good record at home yet. That's really concerning. And here, Glenn says Rudy leaving would be a massive, massive blow. Thiago isn't getting any younger. AC is down. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a problem because we're going to be busy restructuring the defensive department of our team. Because the truth is, the defensive area is one of the most difficult, to assemble. It takes time to assemble a solid defensive line. The moment you miss a single piece from an already established defensive line, it creates a big problem. And a prime example of that, you see, whenever Rudiger isn't playing, we see how we struggle because that's a defensive line isn't. Assembling a solid defensive line isn't easy. It is a very complicated endeavor, if you prefer. Nick, I'm going to bring you in by bringing you up to par with what I've talked about. Is the rumors that AC Milan that they want a Romelu Lukaku, and I've argued. I think that rumor is absolute nonsense. If Lukaku is going anywhere, it will most likely be Inter Milan because we still owe them 70 plus, which means we can, strike a deal for them to take him on loan, and then have that fee reduced or some compromise. Your thoughts on that rumor, Nick?
Yeah, like you said, it's just a rumor. I don't believe he's going to AC Milan. There is a possibility for Real Madrid, Inter Milan. I can't see anyone else really. Maybe Juventus, I'm not sure. But, for me, he's not going nowhere. Hopefully. We still have time. We're going to, they said by today we should know who the favorite bidder will be. And it doesn't look like, what's his name, Pagliuca Group. I think they're out of it. It's either Bolton or Todd. And I said it before, and I think it will be Todd. And I hope it is him because, they all said they want to keep Rudiger, but I think Todd will make it happen, and he won't go nowhere. Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello? Coach has lost his voice. Coach, are you there? Yeah, I think Coach has lost the connection, or I don't know what's going on. Can you tell me in the chat if you hear me, please? Are there, you're back, Coach. Was it you or me?
Yeah, I'm back here. I had to reset. I had to change my connection to probably the faster one. I don't know why it's a bit slow today, but that's by the way. So, Nick, yes, like I said, I don't think Lukaku will go to AC Milan. AC Milan is Inter Milan's biggest rivals, and the fact that he's still looking to get on the good side of the Inter Milan fans, I don't think that move will be good for him. Even if it's desperate, I think it's something that he will not do. Juventus also, if they're coming for him, they probably might come with a loan and an option to buy. And they know that Chelsea probably, you could argue at this point that Chelsea are desperate to get rid of Lukaku, given that the marriage hasn't worked out and divorce probably is the best option. And with that, I'm going to quickly go through the chat to see what everybody there has to say. And if there's anything that needs to be addressed, we will address it. And today we'll have a special guest on at 12. His name is Eddie. Nick, how do you say his last name?
Yeah, it's Mark Heelan. Let me check on it. I forgot myself now.
All right, no problem. I think we should just call him Eddie, but I have
no.
Go ahead. And again, we have he says Rudiger leaving would be a massive blow. Thiago isn't getting any younger. I think I've read that before. And Glenn says Anderlecht maybe it's a possibility. Again, the Chelsea could strike a deal with Anderlecht to take him on a loan. So, and he would want to go there so that he's ready. He prepares himself for the World Cup and also be selected in the first place. Here, I think my connection is a bit still problematic. Hopefully that becomes better. If Rudiger is going, then let's get a Boardman for 40 million and Kunde. I think it's not that simple. Like I mentioned before, assembling a solid defensive line isn't something you do like this. It takes time and it takes a lot of calculation because you can't just buy players because they're good. You have to check their compatibility with the players you already have or their compatibility with the other players you intend to buy. So it is actually not that simple. Again, we hear you, Nick. Yeah, we can hear Nick, but he had to go out to come back again, I think. Yes, we can, Nick. Okay, thank you very much for confirming that you can hear, Nick. So the Lukaku transfer rumors, I think, isn't. I don't think it's there's no substance to that story that he'd be joining. AC Milan again. I've mentioned the reason why I think that's possible. That's not possible, so to speak. And if you are in the chat, let us know what you think. Whether you think it is still possible for Lukaku to leave Chelsea. And if you think so, what club do you think he will be joining? So, Nick, you were saying something before your connection kicked you off.
Let me tell you the guest people is Eddie Mehans. He wrote the book for Eddie McCreadie, one of our legends. He's the author of Eddie McCreadie's book, and he's a very close friend of our old legend player and manager in the 70s. So he'll be on about 12, just after 12.
Yes, and great guest to have for today's shows, and he's willing to answer whatever question that we have and whatever question those in the chat will have. Nick, tell us what you think about the rumors that Antonio Rudiger is on the verge of joining Real Madrid. Do you think it's true? And also, if you're in the chat, let us know if you think it's true that Antonio Rudiger is on the verge of joining Real Madrid. I will share the link to the panel in a bit, but once it's 12, a lot of people would have to drop out so that we can accommodate the guest. His request, we don't want too many people on the panel when the special guest joins the panel. Go ahead, Nick, you were saying something.
Yeah, I think it's not all true. We heard a lot about Real Madrid, but nothing. They've been after him since Christmas. They've been top December, but there's nothing concrete there. Rudiger, I think he wants to stay at Chelsea. He just wants that contract, the right contract, and he will stay. I'm very hopeful he still will be a Chelsea player.
So you go ahead.
Already Boehly said he wants him. Broughton wants him. So I think Rudiger has to wait. I can't because he really wants him. I don't. No. So I'm hopeful. I'm the only one saying he's going to stay. I'll be expecting also. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you still. Yeah, you're breaking up, but I think I could figure out what you're saying. And True Blue here says that Rudiger reported as wanting Juventus. But the fact is he's on the verge of leaving. It's everywhere right now. I've been hopeful. I've been hoping that hoping that he doesn't leave the club, but it looks like he's most likely to leave. But I hope that's not the case. I hope it's just like one of those times that we've talked about him leaving and he ends up staying. I just don't want to see Antonio Rudiger leave Chelsea Football Club. Go ahead, Nick.
I don't know why you think he's gone already. Tell me.
No, I'm not saying he's gone already, but the rumors are that he's on the verge of joining Real Madrid. What do you think about that? Do you think it's true, or do you think it's just rumors?
I think it's all rumors and media talk. I'm waiting for Mark to come. He will tell us a bit more about that. He will know. He will have information for sure. So I'm just hopeful. He's going to stay. We can't afford Rudiger, like we said. If he does go, we're gonna need 2 new centre backs, not one. One can't replace the Rudiger. Who's going to replace it?
Yeah, I get you. I get your argument. Whatever we do, the truth is, again, assembly, like I've argued before, assembling a solid defensive line isn't that simple. It's a very difficult endeavor, given the fact you must be sure that each player in that defense complements the skills of the other person. Else, you'd be, you have a catastrophic, defensive line. So I hope he doesn't leave. Given that Andreas Christensen is leaving, I think we're lacking quite a lot in that department if you look at it. And the fact is, whenever he doesn't play, that's why when we realize how important he's been to this team. And I wouldn't let me say, I'm still hopeful, given that we've learned over time that he has a good working relationship with Thomas Tuchel. Hopefully that alone, pushes him. And the fact that he still has his family in London, hopefully those two factors, pushes him to stay. Because usually players, it's not that simple. Them moving their families around the world. I'm going to share the link to the panel, but once he's around 12, or maybe we'll have a few, 3 cool-headed panelists to ask Eddie questions whenever he's around. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah. It's early, so he's going to be here after 12. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Declare. I hope it's okay now.
Yeah.
Do what you think. Yeah.
Go ahead. You were saying something.
I said bring people on the panel for now.
Yeah.
We see what after.
Yeah, and here Karim Modric follow him now. I'm not sure what you're talking about here, Tire Talks. Can you explain, please, what you're talking? And if you're watching, please, if you haven't, be sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We just hit a milestone again. We've gotten some subscribers today, and that is huge to see. And here we have, I don't believe he will commit to leave until he talks to the new owners. I hope he does that because, what's his name? Thomas Tuchel, we make the new owners understand the importance of keeping Antonio Rudiger at the club. He's been brilliant, and you could argue he's been one of the most important players in terms of what Thomas Tuchel has achieved at Chelsea. And it's important we keep him because we don't even have a replacement for him. Thiago Silva isn't getting any younger. I think you could argue he's one of the 2 only remaining defined and experienced as center halves that we still have at the club. Look at it. So it's going to be very, difficult period for us should he decide to leave. Again, I hope that doesn't happen. Again, that's the link to the panel in case if you have time to join us. And like I said, we'll have a special guest today, and we'll have some people on the panel, but we'll let the panel be crowded so we can ask him some important questions when he's here. True Blue says Rudiger should wait and give Chelsea a chance. I think he should give Chelsea a chance. I think that makes perfect sense. And at least speak with the new owner and see what plans they have in place. As Zlatan and Crespo, 2 examples of playing for both Milans. But Lukaku's case is unique in the sense that he's recently trying to get on the good side of the Inter Milan fans. So I don't think it would be a good move for him, if you ask me. I think it'd be a bigger risk. But again, I think the most likely destination for Lukaku, should he get a chance to leave, will be Inter Milan. And you said it yourself. Maybe I think it was True Blue that said something that it will be easier to sell Lukaku to Inter Milan, given that we still owe them some money. I forgot how you phrased it. If you can help me rephrase it the way you did before, I think it will be helpful. Ty, welcome to the panel.
Yeah, hi, Ty.
I don't think we cannot hear him. We cannot hear talks. Here, Tony Rudiger has not signed with any club yet. He hasn't, but they're saying he's on the verge of, which means he's in the process of doing so. I hope that's not the case. To me, believe me, Olupol, I hope it's all rumors. If that's the case, I take it. Real Madrid are now the closest to finalize an agreement with Rudiger. Talks ongoing for months. Real Madrid are on it since December. Credit Fabrizio Romano. Yep, that's why I'm concerned. Get offered at the right deal if it can happen. Again, I'm really concerned about that. I'm hearing from Thai Talks that Karim Benzema and Modric started following Antonio Rudiger, which signals, players, how they behave, which to me is a sign that that there's some measure of truth to that rumor, but that's not guaranteed that he will be joining them, because if Thomas Tuchel really wants him to stay, he will eventually leave. And then Real Madrid, they do know how to tap up players. Tobago, welcome to the panel.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
I can't complain. Nice to have you on the panel. Your thoughts on the Lukaku rumors before we talk about Antonio Rudiger, and then we move forward with the ownership sell status.
I think the only club Lukaku can go in Italy is Inter Milan, not AC Milan, because clearly we still owe Inter Milan money. So if we return Lukaku to them, I know it'll be a loss, but at least we'll still have make up to buy a new striker. So I don't think Lukaku will go to AC Milan and then they don't afford him. That's the problem. AC Milan is like a team that likes to loan players until the price is less and then they can afford him. But at the moment, you don't need to loan him. You just need to sell him.
Go ahead.
If you see it's Italy, then we have to give Inter Milan back their own players.
Yeah. I don't think. Like I've said before, joining AC Milan, it's very possible. A lot of impossible stuff has happened in football, so that will not be an exception should it happen. But then again, it's very difficult for it to happen. Ty, let me know when you're with us. Tobago, were you still saying something?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, okay. So, Ty, are you there with us now?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think about the Lukaku transfer rumors?
I think you mentioned it yesterday as well. I think with AC Milan, it's a bit off because, he will be contradicting himself if he goes there, because he tried to apologize to Inter fans. And obviously, he didn't get the best response from them. I don't know if he would go back there, but I think Italy is probably the best option for him, because you have a lot of teams that will play the way that suits him perfectly, and he'll be able to have the space that he needs. It'll be easier for him to score goals, because I'm not downplaying the goalkeepers there, but a lot of them, it's easier to score against them, and that's why when you look at those little compilations on YouTube where he scores goals, a lot of those goals are goals that any goalkeeper in the Premier League can stop. So which is why when you see him take those shots, it's easily saved by goalkeepers, because the Italian league has a lot of goalkeepers that are easily beaten. You can even see that in Donnarumma, for example. The goal that that Real Madrid scored against him, he should have been able to stop it, but he wasn't able to, because that's the type of goalkeeping that happens in Italy. So I think the best thing for him is probably to go back to the Italian league. It will do his confidence good, and that's where he went to gain back his confidence. So second time around, it could happen again.
Yeah, I agree with you. How about, let me start with you, Ty. Let's talk about the rumors regarding Rudiger. I know you seem to know a little bit more about the rumors, because no matter how we say it, there's still rumors until it happens. And the fact that he has a good relationship with Thomas Tuchel, and the fact that his family are still in London, I think makes Chelsea makes it a high possibility that he stays rather than leave. But should Chelsea offer him what he's asking for, I think he stays. But your thoughts, Ty? I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He has a good relationship with Tuchel, and I mean, you can see it from his passion these days that he still has Chelsea in his heart. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, I mean, I think it's a case where he'd prefer to stay at the club, but if they're not offering him what he wants, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously there's some rumors that are inaccurate in some sense because some are saying that he's willing to reduce his asking the price that he's asking for his wages in order to
Mm-hmm.
join certain clubs, and then you're seeing some people say that he's negotiating with them to get what Chelsea would offer him. So you can't really trust any and any type of rumors because they aren't accurate. Some are contradicting the next. So to me, I think he'll be willing to stay, but if the club isn't offering what he wants, then at the end of the day, I think he probably makes that decision. But I think it was I don't remember who said it about meeting with the new owners first to see
Mm-hmm.
if they'll be willing to offer him. But at the same time, I don't remember how much is quoted that he wants as his new wages.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we have to consider the wage structure as well. And if the wage structure is going to be taking a big hit, and I think this is probably the best opportunity, having a new beginning, to minimize the destruction that's happening to the wage structure and be able to offer a reasonable amount of wage to quality players and players that deserve to be at the club. The thing is, we have to find some alternative. If it's people are saying that we should offer him whatever he wants, but that's also going to be contradicting because we can say that give me someone whatever he wants, and then at the end of the day, down the line, because he's making whatever he's making, you see him start to drop in performances, and then he's picking up his paycheck. So you have to be careful on what you say. But I mean, I can understand the narrative of giving him what he wants, but we have to consider the fact that the wage structure is already in turmoil. It's basically inconsistent because we're offering certain players more than they deserve, more than they should be offered, and then we can
Mm-hmm.
offer the wages that the players that deserve it should be getting. So it's a difficult situation, and that is why the wage structure needs to be refurbished and it needs to be resolved because it's all over the place and it's not
Yeah,
consistent.
I don't think refurbish is possible right now. The most they can do is manage it, not to
Yeah.
let it, become even more bloated because it's everywhere right now. And I think the precedence for the issue was set when Callum Hudson-Odoi was offered how much he's earning right
Yep.
now. That created a whole lot of problems. And
Yeah.
I've always argued that when new players are coming into the club, we have to be careful how much we offer them because, for instance, Chilwell's starting salary in terms of the full salary after he signed for Chelsea, I think it's 190. I'm not sure how much. So for if he does well at Chelsea, when it's time to renew his contract, you be guaranteed that he'll be asking for at least 50% a pay raise. That's a certain. I'll breeze it through the chat, and I'll come to Tobago regarding the Antonio Rudiger transfer. And please, if you haven't, believe me, I don't know how else to explain it. It's important that you like the video. And if you like the video, it will trigger the YouTube algorithm to push the stream to other people that will be interested in this particular topic. And we'll have a special guest today. And I'm going to promise you something today. If we have up to 200 people watching today, then we'll do a giveaway for $50. But we see what happens. And please, if you haven't, do like the video, share if you can, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And don't forget to click on the bell notification button, please. I appreciate it if you can take just a second to do that. Or maybe Benzema and Modric are trying to lure him to join Madrid by following him. It is a strategy called Madrid players use for yes, that's a fact. They did that. I think they did that with Thibaut Courtois. Madrid hierarchy also did it with Thibaut Courtois by sending him a message when he got injured. That's how they get into players' head. A very good blue morning to Kachila, the panel, and everyone in the comments. How is everyone doing? I always like to see that from my brother, DJ Sav. Yes, again, a very good blue morning. Good blue morning to you. I appreciate it whenever you say that. and I hope you're doing well, my brother. I think, in my opinion, Lukaku is not good with Premier League football. He is more better in La Liga. You think he'd be better in La Liga? Maybe that would be the case because La Liga teams they're more technical, but I think. Do you guys think there's more space for him to operate as he likes to do in La Liga? Do you guys think so?
I don't know how much he offers otherwise than what he's doing, because a lot of players are going there right now and they're able to perform. But the thing is he going to be willing to operate the way that they want him to operate? Because the La Liga also has a lot of demands from strikers as well. So I don't know. I think it's better to go to the Italian
And I think
league.
the Italian league will be better. He'll be better off in the Italian league.
There's less
La
demand
Liga, yeah. I think La Liga demands a lot of technical ability to do well there, the way they play. Again, it depends on the team he joins. Preso say, why would a Rudiger wait with a club mess it up? Again, I don't know who's there. You must remember, if you're making this comment, you must remember, yes, at some point, Rudiger was in poor form, especially under Frank Lampard. He wasn't really doing well. And even some Chelsea, some portion of the Chelsea fan base were calling for him to leave the club. He was error prone. Then he made quite a lot of mistakes. Didn't look like looks like his mind was elsewhere. And Frank Lampard didn't help matters the way he treated him. So then, if the club wouldn't be that concerned about renewing his contract. And when he was interviewed and asked whether he started talking with the club, he said he's not in a hurry to renew his contract, that he will consider that after the World Cup. So you cannot entirely blame the club. Nick, let me start with you. What do you think? Do you blame the club for Rudiger's contract situation?
No, not really. I blame Frank Lampard more because he froze him out. And he nearly went. Don't forget, he nearly went to Tottenham.
PSG also.
He froze him out, really bad. Treated him very bad. But thank God Tuchel came and brought Rudiger back. How many players he took him back? He made all the players, who weren't performing, he turned them into different players. And like I keep saying, Rudiger loves his club. You can see the way he plays for the badge. And he said it in his interviews. He doesn't want to go, really. Like, it depends. Now it depends on the new owners. Are they going to give him what he wants? That's the question. I don't think he's going anywhere very soon. Forget all these media talk, rumors. They're just rumors. Rumors.
I hope that's the case. I really hope that's the case because.
It is a case, and I'm waiting for my friend to come and verify that. Okay,
and again, because if we lose him, we're gonna have a really, really depleted, squad. Because I think you cannot blame the club entirely. Again, and if you ask, Rudiger himself said it was that he admitted that he wasn't in great form. Then when asked again. It's everywhere, but I wouldn't blame the club. I wouldn't in any way blame the club. I think he, in fact, had a hand in what the cost for him not having not having renewed his contract at Chelsea Football Club. Ty, do you blame the club, or do you think he also is to blame for it? I think he, by design, wanted it to come to this so that he can get what he wants.
Yeah, I think so, because you mentioned something about him not being in top form and not being in the greatest form, and then people were fine with him leaving. So,
and he accepted. He says, whatever they say I was then, I was. He accepted that he wasn't in great form then.
Yeah, which is why it's this tactic that footballers use these days. When they know that they're in great form and that the club relies on them so much, they take the opportunity to say that, the club is relying on me right now. So let me see how much I can get out of them to see how much they appreciate or rate me. And obviously he knows that he's rated by the fan base, but the fan base is completely different from the club itself, and the club itself, the internal, you know, part of the club is totally different. Because if it was the fans, I'm pretty sure that he would have been extended a long time ago. So I think the situation is that he knows, and I mean, like you said, he accepted that at the time he wasn't the greatest, and he even apologized after some of his poor performances at the time. So I mean, he knows he's rated, but the thing is, he's using this opportunity. And like you said, I remember that interview. I think I don't remember. I think it was who was it? I think it was Matt Law, somewhere like that. Asked him something, and he was so angry at him. That same interview, and then he said that, after he's focusing, he's not focused on that right now. He's gonna be waiting until after the Euros, I think, or something like that. So he's used this tactic, to prolong the situation. So you'll be able to see how much he'll be able to get out of the club, and to see how much they rate him, or they supposedly rate him.
Yeah, Tavago, what do you think?
About Rudiger, I think, to be honest, I blame the club. Also, I think Lampard had a big factor for Rudiger's contract. And then also, I have an issue. We're giving a lot of players are earning a lot more than Rudiger. And Rudiger, this contract was almost his last big contract. So he needed a guarantee that if he continue playing for Chelsea, they'll value him. And then he deserves it because, like, since under Tuchel, he's been performing left and right. So when the guy is asking for almost 200, and then they're saying it's too much for a defender, but we are paying Saul Neges 250. He's in the bench. Kepa's 150 on the bench. Loftus Cheek 150. It's playing on and off, but we can't value Rudiger. That's the problem. So I think going forward, the new owners need to manage the way how to handle the players' contract and then treat them fairly. The way they perform, because like Chelsea it's not like Manchester United. United doesn't care when they give the players contract. They give players wages for fun. But Chelsea, we need to have a structure that if a player is performing, we need to value him before some other club value him. So now we are in a win-lose situation. You don't know what is gonna happen. Personally, I want him to stay, but if he goes, I'll be happy for the guy because, like, from start of the season, we are saying Rudiger's contract, but the club didn't even give him what he wants until Roman Abramovich was sanctioned. So we need to do something about this. If Rudiger goes, we need to take it as a lesson, and then the next players who are performing for the club, if they want a fair raise, then we should give them. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it's not going to be that simple because we already know, and maybe the new owners will just do this one, will just do it this time as a one-off thing because they want to make sure the fans are happy with them. But I think going forward, I think Chelsea will consider carefully before giving up players a raise, before deciding on a player's a weekly salary. But that's by the way. Again, but we'll see what happens. Let's go through the chat and then we can switch to the ownership news, except if anybody on the panel has any news or any transfer news to add. They had a January month to do a deal with him before sanctions. They didn't react now. He's leaving. Here's the thing, Fraser. Oh, I love you, but I have to be honest with you. Again, offering a player what they want isn't that simple. It's not that easy. You just kind of don't give a player what he wants. Otherwise, you set a dangerous precedent. Already we're in trouble given the salary structure we have at the moment. The players are asking, because I've argued that before. And that's one thing about Chelsea perspective. I'm always concerned about how much the club spends. because I've looked at the cases of Real Madrid, the cases of Barcelona, how they got to where the financial issues they have, signing, big name players, paying how much clubs asked them, and then the player salaries were everywhere. And at some point, they wanted even Lionel Messi to leave because of that. And now they want Bell to leave, but the case of Bell is a very, a peculiar one if you want to. And also, you have Eden Hazard, who I believe they want to leave now because of his salary. So I think because players they know what each other earns. So when it's time to renew their own contract, they'd be asking for something more. It depends on their performance or something close to what the other person earns. So it creates a big problem. And then now at Chelsea, it looks like we have a bloated salary structure, if you ask me, which was one of the reasons why we were not able to get rid of the so-called deadwood, because they are all on high wages, and the clubs that want to get them on loan will not be able to pay them how much they're asking for. We're stuck with them. Some of them will get the chance to leave on a free. Some of them drink oxygen, drink HO2, so to speak, drink water. But that's, by the way, Excel at Dero, and it looks like this is the first time I'm seeing you here, and you seem to have some great input, or I've seen some great input come from you. If you haven't, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and more importantly, Excel, do not forget to click on the bell notification button so that you get notified whenever we go live. He says that we always delay things in both signing of players and giving our good player contracts to tie them down. We are really messing up. The board needs to sit there, okay, and stop fooling around. Again, that's your argument. Professor says it really asks for sign-on a fee as well. Maybe that's the reason why clubs refuse to give what he wants. That's a possibility. I think it was Stav has always said, I think he's asking too much, that even Real Madrid, that no club has offered him was what he's asking for. Maybe that has changed of late. True Blue says, oh, really? The club asked him for talks May 2021, and he declined, saying he can wait until after the Euros. Yes, exactly. Until after the Euros, that was what I was going to say. Exactly, that's my point. So it isn't exactly the club's fault. Rudiger didn't want to talk, and to me, it just seemed as if he was planning for it to come to this. Him realizing that, okay, here I'm approaching 30, and this is my chance to get the biggest contract of my life. And I wouldn't blame him for that, but it's not okay to us to just keep blaming the club. And look at what is on the screen here. Your thoughts, Nick Blue?
Yeah, we can talk all we want about Rudiger. The thing is, no one is 100% sure if he's going to go or if he's going to stay. It's all rumors at the moment. For me,
can you tell us, what do you think? Do you think Rudiger knew what he was doing, whether it was a strategy for it to come to this so that he makes the most of the situation?
To say that, but I don't see him that type of player, because he loves Chelsea, don't forget. He just wants a decent contract. He's not asking for much. All this talk he wanted or silly money. We didn't want 300,000 or 400,000. All the rumors, that was rubbish. I think he wanted close to the 200,000 or maybe 280, 270. I mean, so 170. 170. I think 180 people have that contract. But the problem is all, and now we're here. We have no owner.
Yeah, Nick, I don't know if it is just me, if it's from my end, because I had a slow internet too. It looks like you're really breaking up. It looks like you have a very poor connection.
Let me go.
I don't know.
I'll go out and come back.
Okay. Ty, coming to you, do you think Rudiger knew exactly what he was doing? Because I've said that before, even before this comment from True Blue. Do you think that Rudiger knew exactly what he was doing? Because this is an opportunity for him to probably get the best deal of his career, in terms of from a salary perspective. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think in that sense, I think he knew, because like Tribute said right there, the fact that he said that, it means that he was waiting to see that if he does well in the Euros, and he's able to obtain the trophy with Germany, maybe then he can earn more, because then the club will be more open to offering him the maximum that he possibly can ask for. So the thing is, I think in that sense he knew what he was doing, because the fact that he had the opportunity to get this situation resolved before this ownership situation happened, and everything being thrown up in the air. It was a tactic, to see what he could get out of the whole situation. Him coming into form on the Tuchel. And, maybe in a sense you'll say that maybe because it's just a little 5 months, they maybe won't give me what I'm asking for. So let me see what I can do in the Euros, see if I can perform to the highest level, get as far as possible in the Euros, and maybe then they'll be open to offering me whatever I want to ask for, or close to what I'm asking for.
Yeah, I think we have Excel trying to join the panel. I hope he comes through it, but it looks like he has a poor connection. Ty, tell me, is my connection breaking up, or is my sound good?
Yeah, I'm hearing you well.
Oh, thank you very much. Sorry, your name again? Excel Edoro. How are you doing, brother?
I'm fine. I'm good.
I can't complain, bro. And I hope you've already subscribed to the channel. I hope you've done that. That's important to us. And liked the video too. So It looks like you have a lot to say regarding the Rudiger situation. What's your thoughts on what's going on?
Yeah, I think in the Rudiger situation, like, for sure, if he wants to move, I think he is right, because he has really been fucked up by the club. So
let's watch the language. Language, we don't use the F word here. Go ahead.
Okay, I think Rudiger, if he wants to go, I think I will not blame him, though. I will not blame him. But at the situation at this time now, I think he needs to reconsider due to what is going on around Chelsea right now. Then, I said something about, if you don't mind, I said something about Lukaku. Okay? Lukaku is good, but not in Premier League. The way I'm saying it, Lukaku is really good when it comes to La Liga. He's good there. So that is the situation at hand. And at the other side, giving players contracts is being delayed, and which is not good. I think they need to work on that. If not, they would have been able to tie Rudiger down by now.
Yeah, but it's not that simple, because given that Rudiger himself look at the comment on the screen. The club asked him for talks May 2021. That's a long time ago. And he declined, saying he can wait until after the Euros. So I don't know why people are blaming. Yeah, you have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to what has happened before blaming anybody. So even though he wasn't, even though at one point, if you could argue under Frank Lampard, he wasn't his best period. He still had I think about 2 years then, or a year left in his contract, which the club could have sold him. So the club then moved to renew his contract because he wasn't in great form then, especially under Frank Lampard. And Lampard himself didn't handle the situation well. So I wouldn't go to the extent of blaming the club for that, because it just looked as if he knew exactly what he's doing. He wanted it to come to this, he wanted it to come to this so that he makes the most of the opportunity to earn more money. After all, again, this is what football is, what he does for a living. You must recognize that, And again, if you're saying he should consider what's going on at the club, it's to see it from this perspective also. The club is a business, and if at any time the club needs to do away with some players to survive, they will do it without even being sentimental about it. So Rudiger himself will be looking to make the most of the situation without being sentimental about it. He could care less what the club is going through right now, because after all, they still get a new owner, and the club will still be fine financially. But him as an individual will be looking to make the most of the situation to secure his own future. But that's why, by the way, I'll bring you back later on, and I appreciate you finding time to join the panel. But let me go through the chat. And here, Frizo says, Chelsea defender Marcos Alonso remains a summer target for Atletico Madrid, and Diego Simeone. Alonso would also be happy if he were to return to Spain. I think that may well happen, given that he's not guaranteed a starting place should Benchi will return and is fully fit and is starts firing on all cylinders like he's done before. I think his place will be in danger. That 25 to 30 million sign-up fee plus his agent fee on top of his salary all go on FFP, and don't give me any nonsense that are ways around that was the old FFP. Yeah, again, I get your argument there. And Just Viola says, hey, Kachila. Hi, Just Viola. How are you doing? The Queen of the House is around. I appreciate you finding time to join. And this is also, Titok says, isn't it funny that we could lose the two center backs, Rudiger and Christensen, that were on their way out last season, prolonged window 2021. Again, yeah, that's another argument there. And this is commenters from you, Edoro. You're already on the panel, so no need reading that. Rudiger is on less than 100K right now. He asked to be close to 200. With the way he played, I'd say he deserves it. Again, it's not that simple, and we're not sure. We're not at the table. There's no way to say the exact amount he's asking for, so we must be careful how we say that. Pierre Kakari, if you're here watching, wish you a speedy recovery. Thank you very much for saying that. Yes, we love you, Pierre, and we hope you get better. Let me try to make you laugh and call you Pierre. I hope you get better soon. And True Blue says, let's give them what they want and get bankrupt. Exactly, that's my argument. It's not that simple. And you must recognize that the FFP rules has been tightened even more. So it'd be difficult. The clubs will be cautious on how much they spend, even on player salary. Just Viola says, hit the like button. People, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. True Blue says, after one good season, give him what he wants, and in 18 months' time, his garbage. Exactly. Yeah, and then maybe in 18 months' time, he wants something else, because when the contract expires, you have to renew the contract again. Then how much and where is it going to go? I am here and thanks. Thank you very much. That's him saying he was there. Rudiger likes money. Again, who doesn't? He works, so he deserves to get paid. And again, he has been offered close to 200K by CFC, and then 25 million on top. Wow, that's a lot. But DJ Sav says Chelsea had a chance to tie Rudiger down well before the sanctions, but the board did not do that. I cannot blame him for leaving us. This is all on the board. I am so hopeful that he's not going to leave, given that he has his family in London, and also he has a good relationship with Thomas Tuchel. Rudiger probably didn't want to be distracted while playing the Euros. And to be honest, who would have foreseen our present situation? Nobody. Again, you never know. Over 10 million a year isn't too much. Nick, plus signing on 17 million over 5 years isn't too much. There are different sides to this Rudiger issue. We cannot be sure if he knew what he was doing or not. Yeah, you cannot be sure. And then again, we're not sure how much he's asked the club to pay him. Olupo, we have signed, plenty of players again. Valid point, Olupo. However, when we signed Lukaku, the 200K was paid to a waste of time. Yep, you could argue that. And Sheila says, Fraser, everyone likes money. If he believes he should be paid a certain amount because of his output, then he should. Mount RSC, Callum James, Werner, Drinkwater, Rose, Kepa earn more, possibly. Again, there's a chance that may be the case, but I'm sure Callum Hudson-Odoi earns more than him. You are right, Excel has got his leagues mixed up. And yeah, I think there's a problem all around, to be honest. There is. True Blue yet again talking. Can we just watch the language we use so we don't make each other don't get personal with the languages we use? Rudiger has often said Rudiger has often said that. Hi, Mark. How are you doing? Welcome to the panel.
No, thank you very much, and thanks for the kind invitation.
Yes, I think I appreciate you even agreeing to join us in the first place, and good to see that you found time to be here and right on time, just a minute before the time you promised to be here with us. It's good to have you on the panel, and I don't know how to start introducing you, but I'll try my best, and I'll have Nick complete that. But let me just quickly complete what I was reading in the chat. If there's anything else to address here, this is business, and you either pay him or he walks away. The problem is we won't lose just Rudiger, and it shows poor business from the board. You could argue that. Again, there are so many arguments here. I'm just going to go ahead and try to introduce Mark, and hopefully, Nick, if I miss anything, you take it from there. So Mark, Mark is a blue. Mark is a blue and white army, and Mark also is the co-author of the book. Eddie McCreadie. I hope I said that. Eddie McCreadie. He also writes for CFC UK. He's a guest on Chelsea Fancast, and also he's a Chelsea legacy fan. Nick, I know you can do better introduce Mark than I just did. Go ahead.
Welcome. I'm glad to see you live. Mark is, he's a great fan, like an old fan, lifelong fan like myself, and and he wrote for Eddie McCreadie. He's a co-author, like you said. The first time I meet you, Mark, we text a lot, but nice to see you in here. Thanks for coming, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions we want to ask you.
Thanks for inviting me on the show. Pleasure to be here. I think the other thing I'd add, probably not in the bio just there, I'm also sit currently on the Chelsea Supporters Trust board as well. So hopefully,
good.
Yeah,
I'm
one of your members
today in some way. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good to hear. So you're a member of the Chelsea Trust board, right?
Correct. I joined.
He's on the board, coach. He's on the board. I'm just a member.
Yeah, brilliant. Nice to have you around here with us. So let's get Mark. Let's get him up to par to where we are. Currently, we're talking about Antonio Rudiger. I'm sure you're well acquainted with the story. The rumors are that he's on the verge of joining Real Madrid. I don't know how. Let me say, I don't know how well acquainted you are with the story, but I want to get your thoughts on the rumors.
I've heard the rumors about him going to Real Madrid. Personally, I'd be disappointed if that happens. I think, and if you look at the Arsenal game the other night, we missed him. And he has been a rock in the centre of our defence, in the last 12 months. So if we had to replace him, I dread to think how much money we'd need to spend to replace Tony Rudiger. If it wasn't for Azpilicueta, he's captain material in my book. So if he goes to Real Madrid, there'll be a real regret on my part. I'll really be sorry again. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope that's just probably sort of agent speculation just to make sure his current deal gets resolved by Chelsea. But the difficulty is until we get the club sorted, that's probably why Rudiger's agent is looking elsewhere for his client.
Yeah, I think it's business for both parties. It's business for the club. It's business for the players as well, because football is what they do for a living, how he puts food on the table for his family. But that's, by the way, does anybody on the panel have any questions specifically for Mark regarding Antonio Rudiger, or should we move to the ownership talk? Okay, I guess we have to move to the ownership talk. Mark, I'll start you off by asking you, are you, should I say, I don't know if nervous is the right word. Are you anxious, anxiously waiting to hear who the preferred bidder will be? Can you tell us how you feel at this point, given the whole thing we're being through regarding the sanctions, the restrictions on the club, and everything, that's happened for us to us of late?
I think what I'd probably say, where I'm at this present moment in time, clearly everybody's aware we now have 3 bidders left in the process. They are all saying and doing the right things. They all appear to have the finances available. I think I wouldn't say I'm anxious because I've always been of the viewpoint that the deal will get done and we will have a new owner. I think if I had any level of anxiety, I'd say most Chelsea fans want the same thing and continue the legacy of the last 19 years with Roman Abramovich, continuing under a new owner. And if I had only an anxiety, is if we end up with an owner that doesn't continue that legacy. And from what I've seen and heard of the three bidders so far, there's nothing to suggest that, they all want to be successful. They do not want to be taking over a Chelsea football club that isn't successful on and off the pitch. So I think the most important thing is we want a successful team. We want the right owner, and whoever succeeds carries on Roman Abramovich's legacy and keeps us being successful for many, many, many years to come.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think the issue will be any owner that would want to take over the club and then change everything entirely. For some reason, I think they're creating a problem because that would mean that they are starting from scratch. But it's important to just take it from where Roman Abramovich leaves it when he hands over and build on it because it's done quite well. But again, certainly there are things that will change for certain. Or in terms of spendings, I think will change. And that's will be a new reality for the Chelsea fans who's been spoiled for a decade and a half or so right now, given the way Roman handles the club, because to him, it wasn't really for profit. So with that, I want to ask you, and again, if anybody in the chat, if you have any question, go ahead.
Can I ask you, Mark, something else?
Yeah, just quickly. If anybody in the chat has any specific question regarding the new owners for Mark here, you ask it, I'll look at it. If it's aligned with what we're talking about, then I'll have Mark here and answer your question. Go ahead. You wanted to ask something, Nick?
Yeah, Mark, I'm going to change the subject here and go to the big debate about Stamford Bridge. What's your take on it? Are we going to redevelop this ground, which we're hoping for? I mean, I'm sure you are as well. But what do you think about it all?
I'm going to be slightly controversial, Nick. Yes, I think I'd want to see the stadium redeveloped, but I don't necessarily think, unless it's done properly, it's necessarily having a 60,000 stadium. If we don't do it the right way with the right ticketing price and structure, and we lose some of the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge, so I think there's a really careful line to tread. That it's 60,000 stadium is what's been talked about, but if you end up with an extra 20,000 people that Stamford Bridge becomes soulless, I think you lose the heart and the spirit of the club. I think the other thing as well is, I think all three bidders have indicated so far that clearly, and it's been part of the process, they want to develop the stadium. I think for me, and we have to wait for this whole process to play out, is what I'd like to see from a successful bidder is somehow manage to redevelop the stadium without us having to move from Stamford Bridge.
Yes, that's what I want as well.
Yeah, I worry greatly, and I thought Roman's plans for Stamford Bridge were tremendous. It looks visually, iconic what he was building at Stamford Bridge. But the fear for me was relocating to somewhere like Wembley. Well, I'm lucky I live near Wembley, so I could walk there. But actually, I didn't want to play all my home games there, having seen how Tottenham and Arsenal fared at Wembley. And I just think, if we had to relocate from Stamford Bridge for a 3 to 5 year period, I think we'll lose something, by the time we return back. So what I'd be hoping for whoever has a successful bid is they redevelop the stadium, but they have to probably do it in stages that we can still play our home games there during that redevelopment. Very similar to when Ken Bates was chairman. He redeveloped the Shed End, the Matthew Harding and the West Stand. Yes, we had to play with a reduced capacity, but in effect we had a new stand each season and did it over a 3 or 4 year period. That model is what I'd probably prefer to see happen rather than relocation, because there's only 3 places I think we could go in London. Twickenham is a potential, but I don't think the rugby personnel would want us there in Twickenham. West Ham potentially is a possibility. I don't think that works either. I don't think it's a great stadium for football. So that only leaves Wembley, because the only other big stadium in London is Tottenham, and there's no way we're going to play and share a ground with Tottenham, sorry. And I just don't think Wembley works. So it has to be we stay at Stamford Bridge and we redevelop around it. I think the other thing I'd say as well is, as I was involved when Ken Bates was chairman, because I also, in a previous life, wrote the Chelsea Independent fanzine in the 1990s, and I saw the original designs that Ken Bates shared with me before he built the hotels and before he built the flats. There was a design for a 50,000 stadium at Stamford Bridge, and where the shedding is at the moment, there was 3 tiers plans that very much would mirror, the whole east-west meeting there. And Bates decided to pursue a hotel flat model with 1 less tier in the shed end. So we lost a tier in the shed end. At this present moment in time, and I don't know, but that will come out through the due process with the 3 bidders. Roman's company, Fordham or Ford something, they were purchasing the flats behind Stamford Bridge. So if he succeeded in buying those flats because he wanted to for the redevelopment, you could have a situation where, to make the development work, you knock those flats down. I'm not sure what the new owners would do at the hotel. It's still going to be difficult, in my view, to build 60,000 without going down, and I'm not sure going down works either. So what the new owners might have to do is they probably would have to lose, a lot of the footprint around Stamford Bridge in terms of the megastore, the museum, the health club, just to try and make this work. You'd have to somehow find a way to build over the railway line and then deal with something that's never been dealt with in 25 years. Do a deal with Fulham Broadway and London Transport that a footpath goes from the back of the Matthew Harding end, and the new owners pay for that, because it isn't just about building a 50 or 60,000 stadium. The challenge for any, and it would have been the same for Roman, the challenge for any administration coming in is, from a health and safety point of view, if I understand the regulations correctly, you have to evacuate Stamford Bridge in the event of a major incident, I think within 9 or 10 minutes. And it is humanly practically impossible, the way the stadium is at the moment, and that's why we've got a 42,000 capacity, to add anything further without doing something radical. If there was a major emergency, there's only 2 main exits at this present moment in time, and that would be insufficient to empty out a stadium of 50, 60,000 people. So something has to give either over the railway line or behind the Matthew Harding end, or remove other things, to make the stadium bigger. They might have to purchase land in and around the Fulham Road area, to make a new stadium work that isn't just fit for football purposes, is also fit for regulatory and health and safety purposes.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah,
go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, that's what I've been hoping for, and I knew you were going to say this, what you said, because I'm off. I can't see us. Some people wanted us to move out and build a new stadium somewhere else. A lot of that for us, like yourself, I'm sure Chelsea is a sacred place. It's been like that. I've been there all my life, like yourself, and I can't see us moving. That's why a good job we have the pitch owners and the Chelsea Trust.
Yeah, agree 100%. I think one of the things we've done in terms of the Chelsea Trust is really bang the drum of the importance of Chelsea pitch owners. It is really an important part, and clearly one of the requests we've made of all 3 bidders is the outstanding balance on the loan from the club to Chelsea pitch owners. We would love to see, as an initial act for a new owner coming in, just forgiving that debt. I think the debt probably is about £8 million currently, because what that then does forevermore is the debt is then paid off. The freehold remains with the Chelsea pitch owners, because at the moment they've got a mortgage and they're paying back the mortgage. So that would really provide a long-term security and reassurance, to all Chelsea fans that, this is Chelsea's home. We're going nowhere else. So
of course, you tell them, Mark. Because a lot of Chelsea fans out there, even now listening, they want to move out. Some fans they want to move out the area. Imagine, me, that's unthinkable. It always has been and it always will be. We can't leave Stamford Bridge at all costs. And that's what the main priority has to be from the new owner, which I'm sure it will be. They know how we feel.
Yeah, Mike, this comment here from Lem Lane says, I am also a member of the Trust and just want to thank Mike and the board for their work during the ongoing process. Again, we appreciate all the work you guys have done. I think you've been great in ensuring that the club will be handed over to to the right group to take good care of the club. That's important. I think somebody on the panel has a question for you. Tobago, go ahead with your question for Mark.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Mr. Mark, for making your time to be in the panel. You're welcome. So my question for you, from the proceedings, like you met the potential buyers, they told you what their plans for Chelsea and stuff. So from your point of view, from what you heard from them, what do you research from them, who is the better suited to run Chelsea Football Club successfully?
I think I've probably got to be careful here, my role on the board. And thanks very much to Liam for his comments as well. I think the line we've very much taken on the board has now met with all of the prospective bidders. So some of the ones that fell by the wayside, and then the 3 that are through. And I think we very much said, at this time, all 3 bidders, we've liked what they've said. So they've said and done all the right things. But at this stage, we haven't sort of said, we're nailing our colours to the mast of bidder A, for example, because I think whatever happens at the end of the day, and I learned from bitter experience when I was involved with the Chelsea Independent Association. I was a great friend of Matthew Harding. So we nailed our colours to the Matthew Harding mast. And sadly, everyone knows events happened with Matthew. And we were ostracised by the administration. So we were building a working relationship as a supporters organisation with Ken Bates in the club. And we were pariahs, because we sided with Matthew. So I think it's really important, unless our membership tell us different, and obviously we have the support of our members and we've surveyed them, we've talked to them during this process. We've very much taken the line, whoever succeeds in this bid, we have to work with that organisation, that bidder. So at this stage, we haven't endorsed a particular bid. We just don't think it's the right thing to do because it's not finished yet. Because the other thing that's still to happen is, and not a lot has been talked about it, is the Premier League still have to do their fit and proper person test. And we understand that will need to happen before the process completes. So can you imagine the situation where we as a board, nominate bidder A, and we say that, we like, what he said so far. The Premier League do their due diligence, and they have to do that, and they suddenly find things that would suggest that person that hasn't been revealed so far isn't a fit and proper person, and we've nailed our colours. So it would look very embarrassing for the trust. So at this stage of the process, unless our members advise us differently, we're very much taking the line is, we've heard well from all 3 bidders. We want to work with a successful bidder, but at this stage, we're not saying it's going to be person A.
Thank you very much for that response, Mark. I want to quickly ask you this question regarding that. I think it said that all the prospective new owners will sit down with Thomas Tuchel and talk with him. First of all, is that correct?
Yes, that's our understanding from dialogue with the 3 owners. And again, some that we have to be careful for by being granted meetings with all the, there's a lot where has to remain confidential. That's part of the trust you try and build up with a potential new bidder and their consultants and people coming in. But yes, certainly conversations with the manager is key. We know for a fact that at least 1, maybe 2 of the bidders have already been to Cobham, so they clearly would have met Thomas Tuchel, and he's got to be a key part of this process. And again, they will all talk about what their likely investment will be on the playing side, and nothing suggested so far. It will be different to Roman because obviously Roman sort of subsidised this, but they all seem intent on being successful as owners, investing in the team and making sure we're successful on the pitch. And Thomas Tuchel is a long-term part of all 3 bidders' plans.
So, but how? If I just where I'm a bit confused is what is then the essence? What's the importance? Why meet with him? Does he make any difference?
No, I think it's just good manners, if nothing else. is that clearly if all three bidders are looking to take over the huge, and it's a huge organisation, Chelsea Football Club, and investing 3 billion, of their and other, other partners' money into this, I think it's quite right and proper, that they go and actually meet the person who is a fundamental part of the club going forward. Because, even if you're doing it from a business point of view, the success on the pitch will drive anything off the pitch. And Thomas Tuchel, having a successful team and winning trophies helps the owners with their broader, shall we say, growing worldwide the Chelsea brand. So it's key. He will be a fundamental part of this. You do not want to lose probably one of the best managers that we've had at Chelsea Football Club for a long time.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think it's an important part of the process, in the sense that we need to keep him for at least for continue to reason, and he's done quite a good job with the little he has available to him. Again, before we continue, I'd like to ask everybody that's watching, if you haven't, please make sure to like the videos so that the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and the stream will be pushed to more people who are interested. Again, if you have any question for Mark, be sure that it's aligned with the current topic, and I'll highlight your question and ask him. Before I go to the panel to ask if anybody else has a question, Ty, I know you're still there, and also I know Tobago is still there, and Michael, I know you guys are all still there, but this is an interactive show, so I'll try to, go look at things that are in the chat. Mark, this comment here from Fres, or not really a question, says something that Boehly will remove. I think he's talking about something about the loan with the CPO, the Chelsea pitch owners. That Boehly said he will remove that. I don't think I've heard Boehly say that, but is that even possible?
We'll put it this way: we've said it's all three bidders, and if you think about it from a pure percentage point of view, if you are willing to invest £3 million in the Chelsea Football Club, the current outstanding CPO debt to Chelsea is £8 million. Other people on here who are quicker at mathematics than I had, 8 million of 3 billion is not a lot of money. So if you really wanted to make a significant statement, and we've said this to all of the bidders so far, foregoing that loan and wiping that debt is a really major statement that would go down so well, provides reassurance, provides security, and the CPO then, who have got the freehold, the debt is paid off. And that's a real strong statement that actually you're coming in, you might want to develop the stadium, but we're staying at Stamford Bridge. It's our home.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Nick. You wanted to say something?
For Mark to repeat those comments, because some fans.
Nick, you're really breaking up. It looks like you have a very poor connection today.
I think somebody said everyone on mute. Someone's mic.
Everyone is on mute except me, and I can mute mine. Go ahead, but I don't think that's the issue.
All right, let me go. Let me come out and come in.
All right, no problem. I'll wait for you. And again, Ty, do you have any question for Mark while we wait for Nick to come back?
No, he's basically answered one of the major questions that I had about the ownership situation. So I'm blank.
Now, the other thing I'd add, Coach, here, is the beauty about CPO. It probably did deter, if anyone, and I hope there wasn't, but you can't rule that out. If anyone was a potential property speculator, that they saw Stamford Bridge as a real prime site, that I can invest money in Chelsea Football Club and relocate them somewhere else. Just the pure existence of the Chelsea pitch owners may have acted as a very strong deterrent, to deter them in actually putting a bid through. CPO's been there since 1993. It's probably the best thing Ken Bates ever did as chairman, because it really has, now that we now have, a new owner situation, placed, the pitch owners in a really strong position in securing that freehold. And again, we've been around this block even in Roman's time. There was an attempt by people within the club, when they were talking previously about relocation, they started buying shares up, and it was beaten down by the supporters. The supporters, got together and actually voted down the proposals, for sort of further share acquisition. So clearly there was a strong sense of feeling among the Chelsea supporters fan base that I think most people support the idea of the stadium redevelopment, but I would say the great majority of them want to see that stadium redevelopment taking place at Stamford Bridge and not moving somewhere else. And the only way, with the beauty of the freehold, is the only way you can, whether Boehly or anyone else pays it off, is you can't do that without consultation with the supporters. And if the CPO shareholders agreed it, yes, you could move to a different stadium, but I don't think for 1 minute that will ever happen.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen either, because there's already a good plan in place, and I think the new owners will most likely go with the plan that Romana already has, but they can still change it, and I'm not sure. Do you think they will go with the plan that we already saw a few years ago?
Not necessarily. I think all three bidders, because it's been part of the process, they will take their own lens and look through it and say, right, we want to redevelop the stadium. They'll obviously have seen Roman's plans, and I'll have copies of those, but they may have their own thoughts and ideas about how to make a stadium redevelopment work in reality. And that was just my own personal point of view. Knowing the history and going back to 25 years ago and Bates's original plans, knowing the space available at Stamford Bridge is going to take some creative design to build that stadium and make sure there's enough exits for people to leave in a major emergency. But if you're spending £3 billion and buying a football club, I'm sure you're spending a lot of money buying the best people out there to rebuild a football stadium. And I think, some of them have got experience, because, at least two of the bidders own, sports franchises elsewhere in the world and haven't been involved in stadium redevelopment. So people are coming in with that knowledge and expertise of rebuilding or building new stadiums.
Yeah, it makes sense. Nick, if you want to come in so that I can have Mark address the question on the screen.
How long will it take to most preferred bidder to start negotiating player contract when they're selected? We're in limbo at the moment, and that comes back to the point about Rudiger. This is why the whole process needs to be really completed by the end of this month, because players' contracts start ending in the month of June. So there might be conversations taking place online, but contractually, until the deal is done, with the sanctions placed on Chelsea Football Club at the moment, until that deal gets over the line, as far as I'm aware, the club can't do anything about negotiating player contracts. So this deal needs to happen this month, because the license runs out, if I recall correctly, on the 31st of May. So this needs to happen really quickly.
Yeah, it needs to happen, because it's probably hindering quite a lot of stuff, if I'm allowed to phrase it that way. Nick, are you back with us?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, and you sound better right now. You were saying something before we had the audio issue.
I was just saying, what Mark said about the redevelopment. That I've been saying that yourself. I've been saying that since Roman, since Roman had the sanctions, because I knew if Roman said he would have and got his license back, he would have done what he wanted to do, redevelop the bridge, because he knows how we feel. Roman is us, Mark. Roman is a fan like us, like I keep saying. And I'm just, I'm happy Mark is here to confirm what I've been saying. Because I had big arguments with a lot of fans saying differently. They want to move out. They want to go to Twickenham or even leave the area. That's impossible for me. Like Mark said, you expected well, Mark. I'm glad for that. Now, I want to ask you, Mark, who's your preferred bidder?
I think he's already answered that question. I think he's not allowed to say. But I'll let him respond.
No. Sorry, Nick. We picked it off when you went offline. Yeah. At this moment in time, in terms of our role within the trust, we haven't sanctioned any of the bids of yet. We've met all three, and all three, which you would expect, very impressive. They have plans for Chelsea Football Club, a lot of which has to remain confidential. But unless our membership tell us differently, we're not, nailing our colours to a particular mast, because we don't think the process is complete yet. And the example I gave is, we know, for example, that the Premier League have to do their fit and proper person test, which we presume is happening. And it would be really embarrassing, if we said, no, we'll go for Horse A, and Horse A gets eliminated by the Premier League because they suddenly discover something about their bidding process that fails, the fit and proper person test. Probably won't happen, because no one's failed the Premier League fit and proper person test. You only have to look at what's happening in Newcastle and wonder how they got through. But at this moment, we may still have dialogue with the three bidders before this process is complete. If people have followed the supporters trust, we have made, and we've been consistent in a number of things that we've made. We continue the dialogue, hopefully, before this process is end. So it's not done yet. So we might get to a point, but we're not there yet. And if we do, it would have to be something supported by the membership. So at the moment, we're not actually recommending any of the bids because, as we've said all along, we don't make the decision. Rain make their recommendation. Roman then will have his view about who he wants to continue his legacy. And then there's a dialogue with the British government. And that'll be a conversation and challenge with themselves, the way the government is acting at this present moment in time. And how involved do they want to get in this? Or do they just go with what the recommendation will be, whatever that selected bidder will be?
Thank you for that. This question on the screen says, how long will it take for Chelsea new owners to start making plans for Stamford Bridge in council? A year or two? That's a question from Fraser.
Fraser, it's a good question. I think it's going to take a while. Just from our experience, even with Roman putting his plans together for the redeveloped bridge for 60,000, and unless any new owner just comes in and cut and paste what Roman has done, and I don't think that'll happen because they'll have their own thoughts and ideas, employing the number of people that will be involved in a stadium development plan the size of Chelsea, I don't think it will move quickly. So I think our stadium capacity will certainly remain as it is, probably at least for 1, maybe 2 seasons, before they get their plans in place. So this isn't going to be quick.
Tobacco, I see that. Okay, whatever you want. And again, this is I think there's another question for you. It's never going to be quick. It's a complex project. It's not simple at all. This is from A. Solomon. He says, is there a deadline when we will know who the winning bidder is?
Well, for me, the ultimate deadline is May the 31st, because that's when the current restrictions and license for Chelsea Football Club runs to. But my expectation will be we'll know much sooner than that. I think sometime, I would say in the middle of May would be my expectation. But the goalposts have been moving on this. Even the closing date for the bid shifted by a few days. I've always been of the viewpoint, if you were buying a property, it would take months and months to go through the due diligence of buying a property. You've got people spending £3 billion of their money or consortium's money buying a football club quicker than most of us would buy a flat or a house. So there's a lot to be done in a short period of time. And the ultimate deadline is whatever happens, even if it's back and forth discussions, the license runs out at Chelsea Football Club. This needs to be done at the latest by May the 31st. But as I said, I would hope it'd be done sooner than that, sometime in the middle of May.
Yeah, thank you very much for that response. Does anybody else in the panel have any question for him, or should I go ahead?
Yeah, I want to ask Mark one more thing before you go ahead. Yeah, what's your feeling? This is like a question. What's your feeling about the whole fan situation that we're not loud enough at the bridge or at the semi-final against Palace? I was there. And, we wasn't loud. Well, I said, my taking was that we always get loud. We go louder when we play the rivals, like a big team. When we more or less knew we were going to beat Palace. So we didn't have to be loud. That's what I was saying. But there's a lot of fans.
No, it's a good point, Nick. And I think sometimes it definitely depends on the opposition. And sometimes depends on the environment, like evening games against certain teams, certain evening Champions League games. The first 45 minutes against Real Madrid, I thought the noise in the ground was absolutely superb. In terms of last week, I think it depends where you sit. And I don't think Wembley as a stadium works particularly well unless you have a phenomenal amount of organisation involved. Because where I was sitting, people were singing, but that bowl that is Wembley, you probably have people singing songs at different stages, and it's not joined up. And much as people might have taken the mickey out of Crystal Palace fans, they were. And what they were able to do, which I don't understand, is Crystal Palace fans were able to choose their seats. So you had that situation behind the goal last Sunday where you had those hundreds of Crystal Palace fans who are organised with their flags, etc., and all singing in the same place. I don't like drums, but they had a drum because they were able to all buy their tickets together. So you could almost call it a designated singing area. Yeah, Chelsea fans, for all the years we've been going to Wembley, which I've never understood, it is a lottery how you buy your tickets. Yeah, it's a lottery. So you don't know, even when you buy. I bought my ticket to the semi-final. All I know is that it was, the level it was on. I didn't know what part of the stadium it was in, other than the end of the stadium. I didn't know where it would be. I could guess because I've been there enough time, and I can't work out why can't we, and that responsibility would fall on the club. Buy tickets where we know we're all sitting. So you have this crazy situation that you can't buy tickets together, probably, like Palace do, like have 100 people, and that creates an atmosphere in itself. So what you had last week, you had pockets of people singing. Oh yes, you did.
Oh
but
yes,
around the same. So it never pulled together as one. Palace were much more organised.
I think Nick, we can't. Go ahead.
We're not also boys.
You still have connection issues. Nick, you may have to reboot your internet connection or something like that. While we wait for Nick to fix his connection, does anybody else on the panel have a question for Mark, or should I just go ahead? Anybody? Okay.
Go ahead. I can't think of another question because someone else asked a question I wanted to ask.
Okay, Mark, the question I have for you is this. Most people are not sure who has the final say. The truth is, Roman signs off on the document of for the sale process, but really, who has the final say in this whole process?
Technically, it's the British government.
How is that?
Well, they're the ones who sanctioned Chelsea Football Club. So the only way the sanction gets removed is the sale of Chelsea Football Club. So in effect, they have to sign off on the sale. As I said earlier, I don't get a sense they're going to get too engrossed in this. So Rain will make their recommendation of the three bidders, which they have done. They will make a recommendation once this process is complete of who of the three is the most appropriate on to continue Roman's legacy. Roman, will have a say in this. So you could argue, that Roman might have the final say, because he's deciding who his club is being sold to. But in terms of the process, it should be the British government, because that's the way the sanction gets removed.
Roman does have.
Go ahead, King.
He can't get involved, but he cannot receive money. No, that's why the government is sanctioning him.
Yeah, he can't receive the money. No, you're absolutely correct. He can't receive the money, but he still owns the football club, so he would have the final say in which of the three bidders will be successful before it goes to the British government, and then if it goes anywhere within the British government, it will go to the Department of Culture, Media and Sport, and Nadine Dorries is the minister responsible for that particular area. So if anyone signs off on this on the British government side, and it might be a paper exercise where Roman says, well, I want it sold to bidder A, and they just say, yeah, we agree, and we lift the sanctions, the money gets transferred, but Roman doesn't see a penny of it, and the money goes to the British government, and then they determine what happens to the money.
I'll prefer the Todd Boehly Consortium instead of the others. Because you got the Atlanta owners as well in there as well. So I prefer the Todd Boehly.
Yeah, again, that's your preference. Michael, do you have any question for Mark?
Yeah, I have a little question to ask Mark.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mark, please, I want to know if there is any effect in Chelsea board if any of the new bidder, I mean the new owner of Chelsea, Takeover, if there is any effect to them.
I think we probably have to wait and see on that. That's a really good question, because there is a lot of speculation that all three bidders have said they'd like to keep Marina there, for example. But if you have a new administration coming in, I always sort of liken sort of football clubs sometimes to sort of like American politics. So a new administration comes in, whether it's Republican or Democrat, and usually what's happens is they bring a completely their own set of people in. So you have an outgoing and then incoming. They've all said they want to keep Marina. There are other personnel. I don't know how that impacts on Bruce Buck. I don't know how that impacts on Guy Lawrence. I read the other day that one of the bidders, I think Guy Lawrence, has worked for a subsidiary of their company. So that could be very, very interesting indeed. You think about it, when Roman came in and he bought the club from Ken Bates, there was sort of a handover period where Trevor Birch, who did the great part of the negotiations for Roman to buy the club from Ken Bates, Trevor Birch sort of remained in situ for a while, and he was sort of like the acting chief executive. And Ken Bates obviously was elevated to like a presidential type role. But before the end of the first season, both Ken Bates had sort of like moved on, and so had Trevor Birch. So you might have a situation with one of the successful bidders coming in. They might retain some of the personnel, they might retain all of the personnel, but over a period of time, they I would say will probably bring in. If I had £3 billion, I'd want my own people in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think again, that's the way this whole process works. Go ahead. You wanted to say you have a question, King?
Well, if the staff is going to be there, but she works for Roman Abramovich. If he moves on, like he was trying to buy Valencia a couple of days ago. He was about to buy Valencia. If he buys Valencia,
I think that was just I think it was just a rumor at one time. At one point, the rumors were that he wanted to buy a Brazilian club, and then we heard also that he's already in the process of buying a club in Turkey. So I think it's just all rumors. Mark, I want to bring your attention to this comment on the screen. I think he's just reminding me to ask you a question. If we've talked about the new addition to the Broughton Group, two celebrities. One is Hamilton, and the other one of the Williams sisters. What's significance those additions? What difference do they make, and why?
It's very interesting. I saw that yesterday. I thought my initial reaction was, isn't Lewis Hamilton an Arsenal fan? But again, that shouldn't stop him investing in Chelsea Football Club. I'm not that blink and say, oh no, only people invested have got to be Chelsea fans. It's from a positive one, from a diversity point of view, having two, what I would probably describe as two of the most famous black sporting icons, that there's something in that, so certainly having Hamilton and Serena Williams involved, because they are iconic,
They are.
Yeah, but if I understand their investment, I think is it £10 million each?
Yeah, something around that number.
Yeah, but 10 million is almost back to the CPO conversation of 8 million. 10 million in a 3 billion consortium isn't a lot of money. Well, yeah, 10 million is a lot of money, but in a 3 billion bid, it's a very, very small percentage. So I'm not sure, what they get out of it then. If they were putting $1 billion in, they are a player. They've got 1/3 of the consortium. But if they're putting 10 million in, it's a very, very minor percentage. So, very interesting. I'll be intrigued how it develops. But profile-wise, having those two sporting icons involved in Chelsea Football Club, there's mileage to that. But it isn't a great deal of money, in the grand scheme of things. So, are they sort of like hoping that their 10 million investment will grow, or are they like Roman? Do you know what? We're both massive sporting fans because we play the game at the highest level. We're just going along for the ride and we're going to enjoy it. Only time will tell.
Yeah, and again, it was True Blue that said yesterday, I think it helps the club's profile as a global brand. I think you alluded to the same point also. And he says they are involved in a big money sports, good for publicity and also good for the brand of the club. Your thoughts, Mark, on that?
Oh, definitely. From the worldwide brand that Chelsea Football Club now is, if you think sort of Premier League football is massive, motor racing is massive. That is a huge sport. And Lewis Hamilton, he is a worldwide icon. So having someone like Lewis Hamilton involved, certainly if you wanted to grow Chelsea even further, where you think where the Grand Prix circuit now goes, and that's grown, significantly over the last few years. There's now Grand Prix in parts of the world that wasn't there before. You could visualize, Lewis Hamilton, for example, driving in a sort of like a car that has Chelsea advertised over it. So you can see the potential of having, Lewis Hamilton involved. And then you look at Serena Williams from the tennis side, Serena in the US Open, playing in sort of like something that would, almost like be a Chelsea kit, winning the US Open. So there's certainly real mileage in growing the brand even more so than it has done. So very clever, but as I said, only time will tell to see where their involvement takes them, because they've got to succeed first, and they're one of three sort of very good bids at this present moment in time. But certainly, very good publicity.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. So, anybody on the panel with any question?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm not sure how answerable it is, though. What is your standpoint on the call for having a quality sporting director, and has there been any competent suggestions being mentioned from other bidders?
A sporting director, so like a director of football. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
We've had that type of example before, and it hasn't always worked well at Chelsea. It has, has with some, not with others. It's really depending who was the manager at the time, and there has certainly been tension in the past with some of the first team coaches, with who is perceived as being sort of like the director of football or the sporting director. For me, at this present moment in time, the most important person at Chelsea Football Club is Thomas Tuchel. So if you were minded to have a sporting director or director of football, it would have to be with his blessing. Want a situation where you impose that on what currently is one of the best managers in world football. So if Tuchel was in favour of it and he thought he could work with the director of football, fine, but he's doing a good job without one at the moment, in my view.
Yeah, I think we're doing a good job without one at the moment. But you could argue that the reason being probably the position of Petr Cech, with his, although his role is not properly defined, you could argue that he's doing the job of a director of football, and he's doing quite a good job. Nick, you want anything to add before I ask the next question?
Yeah, I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, and you sound better. Hopefully, it stays like that.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened today. Usually, it's okay. I don't know for some reason. Yeah, I was asking something now. I forgot that. The other thing is, Mark. Don't you think the Sheridan, the Matthew Harding, they should get together? I mean, if we rebuild the stadium, what I would like to see is like what we had in the old days. The Sheridan was the focal point for the fans to gather. We had that's why it's different now. We don't have that. So, hopefully, if they can do that, rebuild it and make one massive side, either side, doesn't matter, Matthew Harding or Sheridan, like the Cop, like Anfield. We had that in the Shed in the old days. That was massive. That's what I want to see. Yeah.
We and I said, and I don't know if you're on the call then, Nick, but in the original designs of the stadium, when Kane Bates was chairman, there were 3 tiers on the shed. And I think that would have been amazing, having a 3-tier shed. And obviously, the home end, therefore, indirectly is relocated to Matthew Harding. But I think the work We Are the Shed do with their fan displays, I think, is tremendous and fantastic. And I think that helps the atmosphere. But I think it's what you can make in terms of the space available. Yeah. Can you get another tier on the shed? Yes, you can. could you theoretically get another tier on the Matthew Harding? I think you probably could. But the space behind is occupied by the museum and the health club. They would both have to go because you need that space behind to put another tier on. But I think part of it in terms of like that atmosphere is it also comes down to sort of like, and this is what we've said to all three of the bidders. Will we keeping a close eye on sort of like ticket pricing policy? You need to have a pricing policy just to make sure the ordinary person can actually afford to go, and they contribute to the atmosphere. We need the corporate side of things, no question, because the corporate side of things subsidises the rest of it. But you have a stadium that's too many corporate fans here. It does dilute the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. It dilutes the atmosphere at other football grounds as well. So that will be a real challenge to the new owners coming in. Yes, they probably need to think about what the corporate envelope will look like, but they need to maintain. The reason why people watch the Premier League and go to watch Premier League football is the atmosphere created in all of the grounds, and you will lose some of that if you go too far. And you only have to look at it last Sunday at the Crystal Palace game. What was the empty part of the stadium? It was Club Wembley, which is the corporate area.
Yeah, but before we continue, Mark, I'd like you to please take some time to tell us about the book that you all co-authored and how we can get it, because I'd like to read it myself, because I know we've been closing. You've been almost 1 hour here, and in case you leave anytime soon, so that we have that information. And I also like you to send me complete information on the book so that I can add it to the description section of this video when it's ready.
I'd be happy to do that. Probably just a bit of history about me then, if it helps people listening in. And I've made reference to some of it today. Obviously, I used to edit the Chelsea Independent fanzine, which was the forerunner for CFC UK. And if you know Dave Johnson, who edits the CFC UK fanzine, I gave him his first writing job at the Chelsea Independent. The first book I actually did, and it's a bit of a standing joke on the Chelsea Fancast, was a book called Blue Tomorrow. You can find it on Amazon, but if you want to know what it looks like, because I've got it here with me today, it looks like that. I also edited a book, which was the writing of the first 10 years of the Chelsea Independent fanzine, which is that. But more recently, the book I co-authored, and obviously that's my Twitter name, is Eddie Mac. So that was very much a labour of love over a period of time. We tracked down all of the players that played in the 1976-77 Chelsea promotion team, but we also tracked down to America our former manager, Eddie McCreadie. And Eddie, if you know the history of Chelsea Football Club, left Chelsea after getting them promoted back to what is now the Premier League. With a district at the club, and he never set foot back in England after he left, and he went and managed the Memphis Rogues in America, and then made his life in America. And we tracked him down. I did an interview with Eddie, and then we decided when we were to launch the book, we wanted to hold it at Under the Bridge, the nightclub at Stamford Bridge. And Dave Johnson, bless him, asked Eddie to come over, and Eddie said no. And then at the last minute, he changed his mind. So he set foot back in England for the first time in 40 years. We reunited him with all of his playing team. Very, very emotional evening. It's a remarkable book. I'm privileged to be part of it. I co-authored it with a number of long-standing Chelsea fans. The Eddie McCreadie chapter will blow you away. This is Eddie McCreadie in his own words. And then more recently, what we've done is we've produced a book that came out a month ago, which is called Tales from the Shed. And so is the Eddie McCreadie book. It's published by a gentleman called Mark Worrell, who has his own Chelsea publishing house called Gate 17 Books. He's Gate 17 Marco. You might already follow him on Twitter. And what Mark has done for a number of years, he publishes Chelsea authors on his own publishing house. That's pretty much the only books he puts out. It's books written by Chelsea fans for Chelsea fans. And what Tales from the Shed, how it came about is through the Chelsea Supporters Trust. One of the things we've got involved with in recent years is our neighbours at Stamford Bridge, called Oswald Stoll Foundation. And if you don't know about Oswald Stoll, I'm happy if you want to go and Google it. Oswald Stoll was a theatre impresario at the end of the First World War. He built a number of theatres across London, and he purchased land next to Stamford Bridge. And he used that land to create homes for people who were injured in the First World War. So like homes for heroes. And Oswald Stoll has therefore been next to Stamford Bridge for nigh on 100 years now. So they've been our neighbours for that period of time. So through the trust, we've got involved with them. And how Oswald Stoll sort of like do most of their work is, sadly, people who leave the services often end up rough sleeping and end up homeless. So what we've tried to do is provide support to Stoll and fundraise so they can help sort of like former veterans, people who've been on hard times, get support. And some people have got post-traumatic stress disorder. And how we did that is we organised what we've called the Big Stamford Bridge Sleep Out in 2019. And it's run for 3 years now. And we held the Sleep Out recently at Stamford Bridge. We've raised so far, last month's Sleep Out, £22,000 for Oswald Stoll. We've raised £50,000 for them in the last 3 years. And the book came about as a conversation that Mark Worrell had with myself and Stanford Chidge, who does the Chelsea Fancast, and said, how about we sort of like all put together our heads and write a chapter each about what it is and our thoughts and our feelings about being Chelsea fans. And all the money raised from the book, we then donate to Stoll. And in literally a matter of weeks, we got 34 Chelsea fans, each to write a chapter each in the book. 20 of them are published Chelsea authors. We got the likes of John King. If anyone knows who John King is, written loads of books. He wrote The Football Factory. That was made into film. A guy called Martin Knight wrote a book called Hooli Fan. And 20 of those authors have been part of the 34. We published a book a month ago. It's available on Amazon. It's available through Mark Worrell's website, which is Gate 17 Books. And every single penny from that either goes to Stoll or it goes to the Alzheimer's Society as well. So it is a really, and I'm pleased to be part of it, it is a really fascinating book. There are some incredible stories in there written by Chelsea fans. Some of them, talk about what it means to be a Chelsea fan, going to games, growing up in the shed. There's a guy called Ian Rodger who talks about his first ever game he went to as a child, and he was taken to his game by his neighbour, who happened to be the late Peter Bonetti. So there are stories in there. Mark talks about how he ended up setting up Gate 17 Books and how he started writing and the origins of that. That's the last chapter, but very, very, very emotional chapter that is. And it's a really good read, a really good example. If you read the Daily Telegraph, Henry Winter very kindly picked up a copy, and he was praising the book the other night. Although I can't go into great detail about, obviously, all three bidders, what I can say is Todd Boehly does have a copy of Tales from the Shed, and the feedback we have, he really likes the book. So that's nice feedback to hear. So that would bode well if he was successful. But it's a really good read. Either contact Mark through his website, Gate 17 Books, or you can pick it up from Amazon if you're not based in the UK. But every penny, other than the commission we have to pay to Amazon, of course, every penny goes to Oswald Stoll, and they are so grateful for it. They are an amazing organisation. We will.
So you're saying we can find it on Amazon?
Yes, you can. If you just type in Tales from the Sheds on Amazon, I think it's $9.95 on Amazon. Or if you buy it directly, if you're outside the UK, it's easier because the way Amazon works now, they just self-print it the moment you order it and they can post it to you where you are. But if you wanted more money to go to Stoll and you're based in the UK, if you order it directly from Mark, Amazon take a commission. If you order directly from Mark, every penny that you pay to Mark goes to Stoll. But whichever's easy for you, depending where in the world you are. But again, go into Gate 17 Books. I think Mark's now running, there's about 20 titles now written by Chelsea fans, Gate 17 Books. And I know a lot of people have bought all of them. And they are some very, very incredible books written by Chelsea fans down here. And that's who we are. We're sharing our thoughts, our experiences, our feelings as fans, and we're putting it into print. And I've always said, there's a book in everybody. And what Mark has done over the last few years with Gate 17, he's brought out those books in a lot of people.
Yeah, I want to quickly have you. I want you to send me, the information on all the books you want me to, put the links on where people can buy them, because I have to put them in the description section when I talk about you. I think it's important. I want to read each of the books that you've talked about, because they sound very interesting. Maybe that will help me understand the culture and the rich history of the club we all love so much. And with that, I want to go to this comment here. I know probably you'll be leaving soon because you've been here almost an hour. Before I ask you the final question, this is True Blue saying, however, I'm talking about the report Taiwan's richest family coming on board with the Broughton Group. Is that possible? And do you think it is something that will happen?
I've not seen that report, but I wouldn't rule out if you're raising £3 billion, you might need sort of like other investors to come on board. So I've said that's a new one to me. But again, in this current process, I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised, that any of the three bidders, might need other partners to get the £3 billion over the line. Because what they've all said from the start, this isn't a Glazer type situation, and that was one of our fears at the board. We didn't want to have a situation where we have new owners coming in, and we all then are paying a mortgage forevermore, and the interest on any loan they take out to buy their football club, we're paying back, and they end up just taking money out of the club. We've been there in the past, where Roman came in, that when Ken Bates was chairman, he took out an £80 million Euro bond to develop the stadium, and Chelsea were paying something like £8 million interest a year, and the club got heavily into debt, could have gone out of business, and Roman came along and bought the club from Ken Bates to save Chelsea Football Club. So you see what's happening, you see the demonstrations at Manchester United with the Glazer family and the opposition to them. All three bidders have said they're not that type of owner. They are putting the money down, but appreciate £3 billion is a lot of money. So they might be doing it as a partnership or a consortium. So I wouldn't rule out any other people still coming to the table being any one of those three bids.
Yeah, thank you for taking some time to answer that. And I want to say again, if you're in the chat, I know Mark will be leaving very, very soon because he's been here an hour plus. But if he stays, fine. Again, I'd make sure to add his complete information in the description section, and how to get the books he talks about. All of them sounds very interesting, and I'll make sure to find time to read all of them because they will help educate me more on the club that we all love very well. And quickly, I'll come to you. I'll come to you, Nick. Please let me go through the chat. I think there's no question here. Arsenal winning Manchester United 2-0. That's not really good news for us. Harry Winter tweeted about the book on Twitter. And here, Chama Joseph says, good morning, everyone. Just woke up. Good blue morning to you, because it's morning where you are. And I hope you're doing well. And if you have any question, quickly just shoot it to us. And again, let me speak our dialect to you. Nick, what were you saying before I ask the next question?
I just wanted to say, what Mark was talking about, all these books about the Chelsea heritage, about, the old days, which a lot of our fans, they don't know nothing about. I hope they go and buy these books, or some of them. They will learn a lot about our history. Then they will understand why we older fans don't want to move from Stamford Bridge, because they don't understand still. So thanks, Mark, for, I'm so grateful for you coming here and talking to everyone. It's made my day, it really has.
Yes. It's a pleasure to be on, Nick.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Yeah. I'll come back again if you have me.
Yeah, of course.
We'll look to have you back, and hopefully you still have time for one more question. If you, I don't know. The question I wanted to ask, as outsiders, we can only speculate what the prospective new owners are required to oblige to, if I'm allowed to phrase it that way, or what the criteria, what they are, because we're not sure. We're outsiders. So can you educate us more on what is required of the potential new owners?
I think it would be very difficult to me to do without compromising, obviously, dialogue that we've had. But I think what I can say is clearly the expectation of any new owners is, certainly from sort of Rain and Roman's point of view, they continue Roman's legacy. They invest in sort of Chelsea Football Club. They invest in the stadium. They invest in the infrastructure, and they make sure Chelsea remains successful. I think the important thing is, if Roman does have the final say, what I probably could say is, don't assume whoever puts the most money down on the table is the successful bidder. I think Roman, from what I've heard, will want his legacy continued. Yes, none of the three bidders will ever invest a level of money and write it off to the tune of £1.5 billion that he has done, but he cares passionately and deeply for Chelsea Football Club. So he will want to make sure whoever those one of the three are selected mirrors his own image as much as they possibly can. That's probably the biggest expectation, is they continue the good work he's done for Chelsea Football Club for the last 19 years.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Again, does anybody here have any question for Mark? Because he's about to leave us, and I can't thank you enough for finding time to join us. And then hopefully when we chat again, you'd have the time to join us, because it's been a brilliant show so far. I can't thank you enough. Nick, any question before Mark gives us his final thoughts and leaves?
Yeah, I think we asked the main questions, like the redevelopment of the bridge, about the bidders. Right now, I do have something, but it's gone out of my head because I've been going up and down trying to connect. So next time, I will text Mark when I find the message. Mark, you're going to get a lot of text messages from me again.
Nick, that's absolutely fine. And Coach, what I'll do is I'll message you afterwards, and I'll provide you the links to all of the books. And even if you want me to come back on and sort of get into more details about the books, happy to do that. I think what I'd probably say, I think the most important thing is, because it still comes back to the British government, they need to resolve this situation as quickly as possible for all of us. Because in fact, by imposing the sanction on Chelsea Football Club, they've created the situation. So clearly we need to get to that finishing line as quickly as possible. But even then, I don't think we're done. So even if they select a bidder, one of the things that we have said to all three bidders is the importance of Tracy Crouch's fan-led review. And perhaps another day we can go into that more detail, because I don't think that deal is done yet. And if the government has gone to the trouble of asking Tracy Crouch to do that fan-led review, and some of the recommendations that have come out of it, you want to actually see it wrapped up and become actually part of the Queen's Speech and part of future legislation, because then, you know the government is taking their future governance of football really seriously, and there was lots of really good recommendations by Tracy Crouch. So we want to see a new owner, whoever that organisation may be. We want to see that they will continue the success of Chelsea Football Club on and off the pitch. But also we want to see some of those recommendations implemented by that new owner, but actually broader, and that's probably a frustrating thing, broader by the football family. The Football Support Association have got a phenomenal role to play, because Chelsea won't be the last club at some point in the future that will have new owners. And we've seen the example that have been debated substantially about Newcastle and who their new owners now are. And if the government is serious about having a proper governance structure around football, they have to be serious and implement the Crouch review. So we'll wait and see what they do on that one. But I think the most important thing is let's see what happens over the next few weeks, and we hope the bidder who is successful, will be the one to take Chelsea Football Club forward for many, many years to come.
Yes, thank you very much, Mark. I cannot thank you enough. Again, it's been a brilliant show because of your presence, the answers you provided to us. Again, I don't know how else to say thank you. I look forward to bringing you back onto the channel for, to educate us on things we may have questions on. So again, I say thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And obviously, let's look forward to 3 points against West Ham United tomorrow and winning the FA Cup against Liverpool this time next month.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Every game now is a must-win game, and we need to beat West Ham United tomorrow and then change things around in terms of our performance at home of late. It's been quite shocking, but I see us turning things around. Yeah.
I'm an optimist, Coach. I think we'll turn it around tomorrow.
Yeah, same as you. I'm like you. I'm always optimistic. we're going to beat Liverpool, get our revenge, and the Hammers are going to have a shock because we're going to be fired up tomorrow.
Couldn't agree more. Guys, thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Mark. Thanks to you, Mark. See you soon.
All the best.
All right, bye.
Thanks.
Now, coming back to the panel, Nick, anything else you want us to talk about? You want us to move to the West Ham game? Do you want us to talk about that?
I think we talked about everything.
Ty, your thoughts, do you want us to talk about that? And Michael, do you want us to talk about the West Ham game?
Yeah, I think we should go West Ham game now. Really? I don't know. But I think we talked about the Beatles and everything else. And that's what I wanted to bring Mark here to confirm what I've been saying for more than how long now? At least a year. So this is when you get real people who are involved a lot with Chelsea, to give you the facts. Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about the current result of the ongoing game between Manchester Arsenal and Manchester United. I think a draw will be a good result for us, but we don't want Arsenal to win because if they win, they'd be just, although we still have, let me look at the table. If they win this game, they'd be just 2 points off of us, behind us. We still have 2 games at hand. But again, I'd rather them draw this game or lose it because with the closer they are to us, the more pressured we will be. What do you think, Michael?
I think Chelsea need to play very well this time because any lose or draw, I think we are going to go down. We are only topping now with 2 points.
2 points as it is. If the game finishes like that.
Yeah. If the game finishes, that is if Arsenal wins. So we need winning. We need winning for us to move forward. Or anything draw, we only have 1 point ahead of them. Or 3 points ahead of them, I think. 3 points ahead of them, right?
Yeah, 2 points ahead of them. We're 62 points, and they are 60 points right now. That is if the game ends like this. If it ends in a draw, they will be on 59 points. Again, I think we have a superior goal advantage because we have 39 goals, and they have just 11 goals developed. But we'll see what happens. I hope they draw this game because a draw will be a better result for us. So, Ty, are you there? What do you think about how the game is panning out so far? Nick, what do you think about how the game, how the Arsenal versus Manchester United game is panning out so far?
Look,
and I'll go out for a minute. I'll be back in a minute or two. So keep talking.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Arsenal are going to win. What is it? 2-0 now to Arsenal. Yeah. For me,
it is 2-1 now.
It's 2-1 now. Yeah, it's 2-1 now.
Yeah, it could be a draw. A draw would be the best result for us. We don't want Arsenal winning, really. But I'm not afraid. I don't care. If Arsenal do win, we shouldn't be afraid. We still have points ahead. And we have to play West Ham, Man United. We have to win our games. I don't want to, take it on another, to make get in the top 4 by the grace of other teams, like we did last year when Tottenham helped us. We want to win every single game left, not to depend on Arsenal or anyone else. But that's what
Nick, that will be possible if we use a very good lineup. That will be possible. But minus that, I don't think we can go forward if we don't use a suitable player for any match that we have at hand right now.
I don't think Tuchel will get this one wrong against West Ham tomorrow. I think he's going to go for the strongest possible lineup. And we don't forget where Rudiger is out, Kovacic is out. So two of our great main players are out. Being able to see Chalobah coming, Chalobah, Salah has to be benched.
Yeah.
And Christian said as well, I want to see Chalobah on the right,
Okay.
and Silva in the middle, and Aspi on the left.
Yeah.
You know, that's the back three I would put. And Tuchel will do that. And Rhys James and his right wing back position, don't play him at the back because he can't play there. And, you know, you do the main things, I think we should win.
Yeah, I think we're getting a report that Rudiger is definitely leaving, and that creates a very serious problem for us. It says Athletic reports it. It says Rudiger is leaving, and it says Simon Johnson. He says Simon Johnson also reports it 20 minutes ago. So that creates a serious problem for us. So now we have a
Coach Lee, I think in terms of Rudiger, because I didn't meet up when you guys was discussing about Rudiger. I think Chelsea should give that guy what he's requesting. It's not that much.
It looks like it's too late now.
Yeah, we can't give him a contract.
It's too late.
Yeah, because
they're saying he's left already.
Wow.
Yeah, here is it again. Exclusive. Antonio Rudiger has decided to leave Chelsea FC. Will make a decision on where he will go next week because he says he was going to make the decision. So probably he has made the decision now, and that's a huge deal. And so what do Chelsea do now? And it's even in the Athletic, Antonio Rudiger to leave Chelsea at the end of the season. So it's for that to come out, which means he's made his decision. So it's a serious problem for us. I don't know how we're going to navigate that. But go ahead,
that
Nick.
guy. Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry, Michael.
Okay. That guy, I think Rudiger is very good. He's one of the best defender in the world right now. Getting a replacement for Rudiger right now, I think it will be more difficult for Chelsea because I don't see.
We can't replace him, Michael. We can't. We can't.
Okay.
No, it's not that easy. Yeah,
it's not that easy. That's what I'm saying. It's not that easy because he is one of the best defender right now.
Rudiger. I mean, I still have hope. I don't believe in all these media. I don't believe the Athletic. I don't believe
Simon Phillips. You don't believe Simon Phillips?
No, I don't believe none of them, Coach. If I don't hear it from Chelsea Football Club, I don't believe no one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a possibility that could change. After all, he hasn't left. And he says that he's yet to decide what club to join.
Coach Lee, I think Chelsea still have a little chance.
Yeah, there's still a chance that he stays. It's not something yet. Again, and remember the report also says...
We've heard this before. We thought these reporters, the same ones, studied before with certain players. They were 100% coming or going, and nothing happened. So if I don't hear it from the Chelsea themselves, I don't believe nothing. I don't believe no reports or no media.
It could be all rumors. You never know.
If they've done it before, Coach, all this. But let's hope. I hope I'm right. Let's hope that's the case.
I pray that Rudiger should remain in Chelsea because the guy is so good.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, and again, in a bit, let's talk about it more. Ty, are you there? It looks like Ty has moved out of his desk. Let me see. Again, it's just it's not certain that he leaves. I want to show us something from this is from Absolute Chelsea saying breaking Antonio Rudiger has decided to leave Chelsea and will make a decision on who he will join as a free agent next week. So the story is serious. It could be true, reported by the Athletic, Simon Johnson, and also now Absolute Chelsea. But we'll see what happens. That doesn't mean it is certain. But here's where I'm concerned. If he's really saying he's going to leave, which means Tuchel's future isn't certain too. because for him to decide, because the rumors has always been that he has a good relationship with Thomas Tuchel, and that's a good sign that means that he stays, and Tuchel has been positive about him staying. So what changed? What changed? Uncertainty is a major factor why he is going, why he isn't going to wait any longer. Sorry?
What's changed is his agent. Just, he wants the money. He's persuaded. If Rudiger's going to leave, the agent had everything to do with it. I don't think it's Rudiger's decision only, because, that agent has made him think different.
Because it happens all the time. Once a player changes an agent, they start thinking differently.
Yes,
so
exactly.
So it could be a sign. It could be a sign that Thomas Tuchel himself isn't settled anymore. What do you think, Michael?
I think Thomas Tuchel have a little power, to convince Rudiger to stay back.
So things could still change. Yeah.
Yes, because they are in a very good relationship. You understand? So what I'm saying, what I mean is this: Tuchel should do his work and leave the rest. You understand? And leave the rest for Rudiger to conclude. So we still have a chance in Rudiger's departure. We have a chance.
And here's the thing again, Michael and Nick. I think this may well be a strategy. Why at this one? We are at the point of getting a new owner, and this is announced at this one. It could be a strategy for him to get more money.
Yeah.
What do you
it
think?
Could well be. From
you're right.
Agent. This agent is very clever.
It's a clever move. Yeah, it's a business for everybody.
Let's hope it's like that. And Tuchel persuades
Nick, you're right.
To stay. Because
you're right.
Tuchel doesn't want him to go. We know that. And Tuchel is not going nowhere. Whoever becomes the new owner of Chelsea, they're going to back Tuchel because they know the fan base are with Tuchel. So, I wouldn't believe too much into this Rudiger.
Yeah, I would. But here's the thing: all I hear says it's understood that Rudiger has not been given a time frame by anyone at the club over when discussions will open next week as a result of the sanctions. Again, I think it will change because that's why I like the Athletic comment again. Let me click on Olu's link here. The Athletic comment, I think, made this, let me see, this is it here. It says, I want us to read it. This part of the Athletic comment, it says, let me see, where can I find it? Let me use a search here to say, find the word stay. Okay, here it says, I think the first one is here. I want to read the first instance of stay here. It says that puts his chances of staying at Chelsea in real jeopardy because the club's takeover is not expected to be completed until May. Again, I think at the end of the season, when does the summer transfer window open? It's still about how many months away? I'm not sure when, but this doesn't say that strictly that the whole thing he's gone. It is bye-bye. There's still a chance that Chelsea could still keep him. So I wouldn't worry that much, given how enthusiastic Thomas Tuchel has been about the whole situation.
When something breaks, Coach, like this, for instance, yesterday, or before yesterday, when Real Madrid were after news in the media goes around in circles. And they're going to make stories up, they're going to hope their story is correct. But, like I said, I won't believe Chelsea announced that Rudiger's going. And they usually do beforehand. If you have the Chelsea website like I do, I listen to them, they give you the real news. So that's why I don't believe none of this yet.
I think this is just a strategy by his camp to get what he wants.
Of course.
because the timing is suspicious to me. Again, he's well aware of the ownership situation, and we're well aware that we're about to get a new owner as soon as possible. And I think the new owner will also hear about his importance to the team and prioritize giving him a new contract. So I wouldn't be concerned that much, but I will be concerned because there's a possibility he leaves. But I will not be concerned that much because he's gone, he's left, didn't just start today. So I think let's quickly get into the West Ham United Chelsea versus West Ham United preview, and maybe we'll try and predict the lineup. I think Antonio Rudiger will leave Chelsea on a free transfer, as he cannot wait more than 2 months for new owners. No bid on the table. He's always been respectful, but it's time for a new change. That may be the case. Sky Sports Germany reports he will wait until summer. Exactly. You see, that's a conflicting report. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, True Blue. I wish I know who you are. I could just buy you beer.
True Blue should come on the panel. And,
maybe he doesn't want to. Most people don't want to, because I know a lot of people who doesn't want to come onto the channel. But that's a great comment here. Sky Sports Germany report he will wait until the summer because why?
That's always right. Yeah,
exactly.
Everyone gets carried away.
Yeah, exactly. CFC Real Madrid are close to finding an agreement to sign Rudiger. Fabrizio let us tweet Fabrizio on occasions.
Another idiot.
Has been wrong also.
Another one. But they're all the same, these people. Don't believe them. Don't try. I don't know why people listen to them, honestly.
Yeah, that's why I think we should go into talking about the West Ham game. I want to start with you, Nick. What type of game do you expect?
I expect a completely different game than against Arsenal.
Here's another point here quickly. His deal does not expire until June.
Yes.
So that's I think that's ask a question about the rumors and where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's all rumors. Forget the rumors. Don't believe this media. I never do. Never in my life believe the media.
So, anyway, Nick, what type of game are you expecting Chelsea versus West Ham United?
I expect Chelsea to come out really determined and to prove a point to the fans. They're going to be, it's going to be a different game. They will come out fighting like we did against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. That's what I expect. Nothing less. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah. And you want me to name the team?
And we'll build the team soon. I'm just getting ready for this. What software we're going to use. And I want to update Olupol. Quickly, I want to update Olupol. Olu, I know you're one of the contestants. We'll be drawing the participant for the quarterfinal stage soon. And I hope you're preparing your tribute to Roman Abramovich. Again, I just wanted to update you that it is still on, but soon we'll do the draws here on Blue Morning Show. So I'm going to try to set up what will you Nick, go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, I want to see passion and pride. What we didn't see against Arsenal, we have to show it against West Ham. If we do that, we're going to win the game. We come out like we should, like we can beat anyone on this planet. So I'm very optimistic we're going to win. We're going to bounce back because that was a very bad defeat, very bad. I think the players
it was a disgraceful defeat, if you want to phrase it like that.
The players and the manager, they're going to want to prove a point to everyone. So I'm very optimistic we're going to win. I think we're going to win 2-0. It won't be I hope it's more, but I think I'm going for a 2-0 Chelsea win.
We will get to the predictions. Let me just set up what we'll use to predict the lineup, because I want to cut it out and upload it differently and see how many views that gets. Again, I think we will be going into the predicted lineup in just a few seconds. Again, there you go. I think we're going to play 3-4-1-2. I think that's how We've been operating for a while. I think we're ready to go into the lineup. So I'm going to share the screen here. Probably better to share it like this. Yep, I agree. So now we're going into the predicted lineup for Chelsea versus West Ham United Premier League game. We're going to try to correctly predict Thomas Tuchel's selection for that game. And good luck to us, because it's never easy at any point to correctly predict Thomas Tuchel's selection. So let's get into it. Nick, I'll start with you. Who do you think will start in goal?
Yeah. What I think and what I want are two different things. You know, I think Tuchel will still go for Mendy, but I just hope he does. I hope he doesn't. I want Kepa in goal. I want Mendy to go on the bench and think about his performances.
Yeah, but you and I know that's never going to happen.
I know, but it could happen. I just hope, because he needs to be rested, because if he plays against West Ham and does another pass to a West Ham attacker, and we end up going down, losing 1-0 again, we'll have enough for Mendy.
Yeah. So let's try and make the lineup, the predicted lineup part very snappy, because I want it to be a very short video. Ty, you agree? You agree with the goalkeeping position? How about you, Michael? Do you agree that Mendy starts?
Yeah, I agree with Nick. I think Mendy is gonna start.
But we want
Mendy. You think Mendy is going to start? Okay. Let's go to your back three. Tobago, give me your back three for this game.
To be honest, I think.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tobago.
Thiago Silva in the middle. Christensen on the right.
Here,
Yes. Christensen on the right.
No, I'm coming. I'm not going to agree with you on that one. Go ahead, give me your left side.
To be honest, you need to play Chalobah there. Sai have so many errors. For me personally,
left hand side, is Rudiger still injured?
Yes.
Yeah, he's out.
Wow, we have a serious problem here.
So I think Chalobah is the best fit.
I think in the right we have a Aspiriqueta. Then at the left we have
left center back position. You think?
Yeah, Aspiriqueta at the right. Then at the left we have Christensen there. At the middle we have David Silva. Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva is already in the middle. Where we have the issue is the left and right center back position. Your thoughts are, Ty? Oh, sorry, Ty is backstage and I wasn't paying attention. Your thoughts, Ty?
What the defense?
Yeah, the back three.
Oh, it's a difficult one, because I'm either way we're going to be forced to play somebody that I don't want to see play. Silva has to play for sure. I'll play Aspi on the right, and left.
There's no Rudiger.
There's no Rudiger, so there's no. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to be forced to play one of Chalobah or Sara. I don't know.
I don't think he will risk playing. I think he could start Sara, but what's your choice? We have a problem because
I'm gonna go with Chalobah.
I think he will still start Christensen again. That's me. You say Chalobah on the left hand side.
Yeah.
Chalobah.
Koshili?
Unless
Koshili, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I think this left
Sorry?
back, central back, and right central back. I think Aspiricueta should go to the left, and Chaluba should come in for.
I think that's
For
probably
right
what,
side.
yeah, because Aspi has played on the left-hand side before,
Yes,
as a
yes,
left back, and
yes.
I think that. But
I think that
do
formation
think he
will be
may
okay.
well, I think he may well start Christensen again, even though he made that mistake that day.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
he's good. He's good aerially, and West Ham in terms of aerial, they're powerful in terms of strong, they're tall, and they're good aerially.
Yeah.
So I think the between these three, I think it will be like this, or Sa may well keep his
Christensen
place. Yeah, yeah. No, he's not out, but people don't just trust him because of that error. I think he may well start also again. That's Thomas Tuchel for you. I'd see Christensen starting on the left because he's played him there before. The reason why Christensen made that mistake that day, he was the one leading the back line. And that's not something he's done quite well. He's played better when he's paired with, he's played better when he's on the right-hand side, although his preferred position will be to lead the back three. I think Christensen will still play, and probably Sam could still start also, but that's by the way. Let's just have some fun here and move on. I'm going to come to you, Tobago, the 2 6s. Give me who you think will start.
Well, I haven't sent the three back yet.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
I said it before. For me, Sam you can't have Sam playing this game. For me, Christensen could well play, like you said, but for me, it's going to be Silva in the middle, Aspi on the left, and Chaluba on the right.
I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah.
Drop Christensen and Sarr for this game. I think that's what Tuchel's going to do.
I get your argument, True Blue, who says play 4 at the back. I am tired of sacrificing for a simple Jorginho playing 2 6s in the first game. Again, the truth is, you and I know Tuchel is so stubborn, he wouldn't even consider playing 4 at the back. There's a possibility he does that, but you never know. The system not simple. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I understand.
I'm wondering, I'm wondering.
Sorry?
It should not be a decision to be made then, because due to us not having enough centre backs good enough in the 3, wouldn't it be sensible to play 4 then?
I think it would be sensible to play 4 at the back, but with Thomas Tuchel do it. So, True Blue has a good
it would be a
point
big
here.
risk to do that.
Yeah, guys, it's not simple to change the formation during the season. I think he need to do another pre-season to implement it more. So, but I think personally, we should play twin Vanderberg, because like the other ones are not convincing. But at the end of the day, we know Tuchel. So stubborn.
So stubborn. I don't think he if it is 4 at the back, then who will be left? Who will it be? If it's 4 at the back, I think he starts Malang Sarr. But I don't know. I think he may well play a 3 at the back. But let's go ahead with 3 at the back. Let's just have some fun here. So, Nick, give me your back 3.
Yeah, I just said the back 3 for me. Aspi on the left, Silva and Chaluba. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, but I'm going to let you guys know. I wouldn't change it. I think Andres Christensen will start this game.
Yeah, he might well start, but he might well.
He might start.
Yeah, he will start this game.
For me, I wasn't starting.
Yeah, I wouldn't either if it's up to me.
He's going to Barcelona now. He's going to be even worse against West Ham. He'd be thinking about the Barcelona.
Are you going to do that for Rudiger as well?
Who? Rudiger is different.
Rudiger is different.
Yeah,
why?
We've been talking about
playing out of his scheme, and even if he's not sure if he's going to stay, but he will put 150%. That's Rudiger for you.
No, but are you going to do that? Are you going to do that with Rudiger as well? That's what I'm asking.
Well, play him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's the thing about Rudiger's case. We've been talking about him leaving Chelsea for like a billion years. Yet
Yeah.
whenever he plays, he gives 200%.
That's what I
So
mean.
I'm not really worried about
No, we can't worry.
Rudiger.
I wish he was I wish he was a ninja. Then play Rudiger. We're going to guarantee to win the game.
Yeah, and again, from this comment from True Blue says he changed the system 3 times versus Sports, and in cup games away to Madrid, he changed his second half of the semi-finals. He may well do that, but you never can tell. But the starting point is where we're at. Tobago, give me your 2 6s.
To me,
Ty,
we need to play. I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yeah,
Well, sorry.
your 2 6s.
Yes. We need to play Kovacic. No, because not Kovacic. Jorginho and Kante.
That's probably who we will start.
If not, Jorginho and Saul, because we can't play Ruben Loftus-Cheek there. Every time he has the ball on his feet, under pressure, he loses it, and then we end up making an error lead to goal. So we're so tired of that. One thing almost all the time when Ruben is playing as a 6.
Yeah, again, I don't think he will play in that number 6 position, and it looks like every time he plays in that position, we'll lose a game. I think it makes sense. I don't think Thomas Tuchel would risk it. If he does, I'd be surprised. Again, there's no telling what Thomas Tuchel would do. He's full of surprises in terms of that. So now let's go to, let me come to you, Ty, your 2 6s. Your turn, Nick, your 2 6s, please.
Yeah.
Jorginho.
Yeah. 2 6s, no Kovacic. Jorginho, he's going to play for sure. And I think,
and he probably was. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it'd be Kante, even if he's not on that form. But you know, Kante could come alive. So it's going to be Jorginho and Kante for me.
Your 2 6s, Michael.
I think Jorginho should come in, and Kante also should come in. Yeah,
it makes sense.
The 2 is okay. Yeah.
I think the 2. I think they will protect the defense better than Loftus-Cheek and who was it again? Loftus-Cheek and who?
Saul.
And Kante, right?
We can't have Saul or Loftus-Cheek in this game.
Yeah. So Michael, give me your left wing back man and right wing back.
Okay. Before giving you, I want to know if Shewell is fully back.
No, there's no chance he starts. He's not going to play a single game until the season is over and back.
Next year, Michael.
Yeah.
Next
season.
Okay. Alonso should start at the left wing back.
Yeah.
And Rich James should also start. But there is one thing I want to say concerning Alonso and Jorginho. 2 of them are too slow. They are good, but they are too slow. And I think the thing will affect Chelsea very well.
Then if they're really positioned like this, then the better option will be for Kante to stay on the left here to help.
Thank you.
To help Alonso.
Yeah, the formation is okay, right? It's okay now. I like.
Nick,
it's okay.
Thank you, Michael. Obim can one them. Nick, your wing backs.
Yeah, for me, it has to be Alonso on the left and Rich James on the right. You know, where he that's his position. Apart from Alonso, who you can put? We have no one.
Yeah.
So them 2 have to play.
Yeah. So, Ty, your 2 6s.
Kante and Jorginho.
Your wing backs.
Kennedy and James. No, I'm just kidding. Alonso and James. I'm just kidding. Alonso.
Trust me, Thomas Tuchel, he knows how to surprise people. That may well happen. You're not sure yet.
No, he won't have Kennedy.
Tobago,
Kennedy's
your
gonna
wing
go back
backs.
on loan.
Alonso and Rhys James.
Yeah.
And
we
also,
all
I
agree
think
that.
Tuchel need to stop playing Rhys James on a
In the right
line.
position, right?
Yes, because we don't have a Aspilicueta is not a proper wingback, so it's not more effective than James when he's playing there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Olupo says Marina is in trouble on Twitter. This reactionary fan base at it again. I expected that to happen, but most of them don't know anything. Marina is just a negotiator and wouldn't be blamed for anything. And they forget Rudiger himself didn't want to start talks with the club until after the Euros. And then that's the rest is history. I don't want to talk about it. So Tobago, you said James. So Tobago, who's going to be the number 10 position?
Mount always.
Mount, definitely. If you're not talking, can you please mute the background noise? So when you're talking, I think we can do it at that point and not all through the time. Ty, your 10 position?
I'm going to say Minerals Mount.
Okay, Mount. Nick, 10?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Mount. You will put Mount. But and even Mount was very poor against Arsenal. And, if it wasn't me personally, I will have Ziyech. Give Ziyech a go. But I know Tuchel's going to put Mount.
Yeah, he probably won't start. Yeah, he probably will not start. Unfortunately, he probably will not start Ziyech. I don't know what he's done. And by the time he brings him on, he probably will not be in the spirit to play this game. So if he wants to start Ziyech, play Ziyech, he should start him. And he can help us get a win. But that's by the way. Maybe, Michael, your number 10?
I think my number 10 should go to Mason Mount.
Yeah, I think Mount starts. And also quickly, your two attackers.
My two attackers should go Havertz and Pulisic. Sorry. Havertz with
Werner?
Yeah, Werner, yeah.
Okay. Nick, your two attackers.
Yeah, well, Havertz is for sure. Yeah, I think Werner has to be there because he tried against Arsenal. The only one who tried, and it's going to be Werner
and
Havertz and Werner
and Havertz.
Yeah, is that the same for you, Ty?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that he should say and Havertz. Both of them were the only ones trying.
No, only Werner tried. Havertz wasn't that good. When he came
tried.
on, he didn't. No, he
tried. He did more than Lukaku did in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, look, the TV pitch.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But the rest of the players, the first 11, I'm not talking about Havertz now, because he was on the bench. That team was strong enough to win against Arsenal, but Werner, at least he tried. So that makes my words up.
And how about you, Ty, your two attackers?
Havertz and Werner, or Werner and Havertz, because Werner's on the left.
Yeah, I think those two are taking it. And who else? Is Tobago gone? I think Tobago is gone. So I think this is pretty much the lineup. So Ty, you give us, what do you think the outcome of the game will be?
Oh boy, I think it's gonna be decided by 1 goal. So I'm gonna probably say 1-0.
You probably say 1-0, you think?
Yeah, just 1-0. I'm not saying to which team, but saying 1-0 because I don't know. I'm not going to embarrass myself like the Arsenal game.
Yeah. So Tobago, what do you think? Who do you think will start as the two attackers there, and what do you think the outcome of the game will be?
Timo Werner and Kai Havertz should start, and then the outcome, to be honest, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. The way we are playing recently at home is so disappointing. So I would say 3-2, 3-1, or 2-1, something like that.
We don't want any heart attacks. 3-2, please.
Yeah, I still think.
Nick, we are making so a lot of mistakes, and then even the only problem now I have with Tuchel, I know they said it's not easy to change a goalkeeper. So what's the use of having Kepa there while Mendy?
I hope he changes Kepa there.
He won't change him. That's it. That's the problem.
Well, let's see.
Always, all the time.
We never know. Yeah, he should change it.
Because even those three goals they scored there, they were soft. I know they're good goals, but what Mendy did there? No, man. So anyway, let's hope we win. I want to win.
Yeah, I do hope we win too. Yeah,
because Arsenal is winning now. So if Arsenal is winning, and they'll have 2 games in hand, we'll have 2 games.
No, we have 2 games in hand.
But does it mean anything?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. We want them
doesn't
to
mean
draw
anything if you don't win the game.
lose.
I know we're gonna be charity FC, and we're gonna be games in hand FC. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hopefully,
go ahead.
Hopefully, we win 2-1.
I still think Arsenal will bottle this one.
Yeah, West Ham. Yeah.
I see Arsenal. I see Arsenal bottling this game against United. It's not over yet, right?
I mean, it's still 2-1 though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It's still 2-1. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's let me check. It's in the 62nd minute. I think Arsenal will still bottle it. Well, let's see what happens. But United is so poor in terms of. I think. What's the possession like? Arsenal. Holy crap! I don't want to talk about that, man. It's embarrassing for United. So, Ty, what do you think the outcome of the game will be?
Yes, like I said, 1-0 to whichever team.
You have to choose one team, whichever team. You have to choose.
Fine. 1-0 Chelsea.
So, Nick, tell us what you think the outcome will be. Yeah. Don't mind Ty.
Yeah, you can't say whichever team. That's not a prediction.
1-0 to Chelsea. You know, it's going to be a flop.
I'm trying to wind you up.
Yeah, just realize that's not coming from my end. I think it's coming from Michael's end. My Blue Army, they're all sleeping because it's 5 a.m. Right now it's 5:53. Nick, what you say the outcome will be?
I'm going to say what I said on the Chelsea predictor thing. 2-0 Chelsea. Havertz score the first goal.
I hope that happens. True Blue just says Man United just had a goal disallowed. Come on.
Yeah, good. I hate both of them. I don't care about United. I want United relegated, really.
Yeah. And again, I'll talk about something once we're done with
the
predicted lineup. So, Michael,
we hate Man United.
Yeah.
Michael, your thoughts? What do you think the outcome of the game will be?
2-1. Chelsea's gonna win.
To Chelsea.
2-1. Yeah, because
here's what I'm going to say. Go ahead, bro.
Because the back is not that okay. So I'm expecting Chelsea to concede 1, but they are going to win.
Yep, I agree with you. If the back is this guys here, then we will concede. If it is these people here, we will concede headed goals. Headed goal at least 1.
Yeah.
But if the back is like this, Sarr stays on the left and with Christensen on the right, I don't think we will concede a headed goal, and we may not concede actually. And if Kante isn't fasting, I think we'll be good defensively because he can help protect our defense. But that's by the way, and I'm looking into that's probably before because I'll be traveling very soon to Africa because for the burial of my uncle and my father. And I'm looking into starting watch-alongs when I come back, but I'll put out a poll to see what the fans think so. Nick, coming to you. Nick, I'll let Nick round off that for us. Michael, any final thoughts on all the things we talked about today?
Well, I don't have much to say about concerning about Rudiger. I think Rudiger should stay. Chelsea should give him what he wants.
He may well stay, actually. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. And in terms of selling of Chelsea, I think the right owner, the right person should take over. You know, what we are looking for right now concerning taking over to Chelsea is someone that can do better than Abramovich. I'm not looking for someone that will do the way Abramovich did, but someone that will be more better than him in terms of anything.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And in terms of Chelsea formation, I think this is the best formation for us right now. And Chelsea is gonna come out with a victory. That's what I know.
I hope.
They're not gonna win today.
I hope we win. True Blue says Fasten lasts until first week in May. Whew, that's concerning. Which means Kante will still be, closing fast, probably a few minutes before the game starts. Or in some cases, it depends on when the game starts. In some cases, he will be on empty stomach. So if that's the case, Tuchel may well not start him. But let's see what happens. Because if he's on empty stomach, I don't think Tuchel would risk starting him. So that's by the way. So which should expect him to be performing, not to be up to par until until first week of May. But that's by the way. Now coming to you, your final thoughts on everything we talked about today, Ty. Tobago, your final thoughts on everything we talked about today.
I think now, beside everything we talked about, if Rudiger leaves, I think it should be a lesson to the coming owners. Like, we need to have a proper planning when it comes to players' contract. We don't have to let a player have his last season. Then that's where you become more serious about giving him a contract. If a player have a last 2 years on his contract and he's not willing to sign a new contract, at least you might at least sell him and then we get a better play. Because like now, if Rudiger goes, we're going to lose a good player for us. And regardless to the new owners, hopefully, personally, I think Todd Boehly should win because he have a good track record running a sporting club. And then maybe he can implement that into Chelsea, and then Chelsea can be more self-efficient, and then can start to attract new talent, bring academy players and stuff.
Yeah. Again, like I say, I don't think I'm still hopeful that Antonio Rudiger will stay.
We could at least bring Mikel Emiliano back. So unfortunately, it's not possible because that guy was so good scouting talent. But anyway, it's fine. And then let's hope the guys win tomorrow.
I hope. I think to me, if you ask me, I'd say it's just a strategy for them to get more money, get the best deal they can from the new owners, because the timing is very suspicious to me. So if you ask me, I'll tell you it's just a strategy for Rudiger's camp, to get the best deal they can get. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody on the panel. But before we go, I want to say if you're on the panel, if you haven't, from Nick to Michael to Tobago and to everybody in the chat, if you haven't, go check out Thai Talks CFC.
Much appreciated.
Great content. Even though he's a kid, he understands football. And he understands football very well, especially from the perspective of Chelsea Football Club.
I think Ty needs to grow up. It's too much of a kid, I'm afraid.
I'm too much of a kid. What do you mean by that?
A kid will always be a kid. You can't
What do you
overcome
mean?
your
But
age.
no, what
I know
does he mean?
Nick is joking. Nick is joking.
I want to
But
wind
that's
you up.
by
I
the
told
way.
you. I like
Oh,
winding you up.
no, I was just wondering what you meant.
Because you
Because
come
I
up
know I
with
have,
some.
I was just wondering what you meant because I
I
have
like
some
to wind
childish
you up.
thoughts.
See, I can do
Yes,
I have some
Nick, you
childish
got
thoughts. I
him.
was wondering
Nick,
what
you got him. You got him. So please go check out Ty Talks YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed to his channel. That's why I always like to have him on the panel because he knows what he's talking about. And TC, don't forget, soon we'll be doing the draw and we'll be updating you on the format for the Roman Abramovich context. You don't have to make a video of yourself, but you have to at least present your what's it called, your tribute. You have to do a screen recording to,
Coach, you didn't give me my final thoughts.
Arsenal scored.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead. Your final
Arsenal
thoughts.
just
My
scored.
apologies.
Yeah. Anyway, my final thoughts are I hope you don't listen to Mark today, what he had to say, because, the guy knows what he's talking about.
I do
So,
listen. I listen to
I
him
know
quite
you.
well
I'm not talking
attentively.
about you, Coach. You're different. You're the boss.
Mhm.
You understand football. You're very talented. But I'm talking about
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The majority of our fan base, they don't understand nothing. Nothing at all. I'm not talking about the people here. We have a good chat. We have good people here. But you go on Twitter or some of these spaces, and you know what I mean. They don't have a clue what's going on with the club. But that's why I wanted to bring Mark here. And he will come back again. And I'm also trying at the moment. I'm trying to get Paul Cannerell. That'd be something
Yeah,
special.
I hope we'll have Paul here soon.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I do. It's just
The Paul Cannerell?
What?
Yes.
The first black player?
Yeah,
Yes,
first
we
Chelsea
are
black
connected.
player.
Yes, Ty,
Oh
we
my
are
lord!
connected.
Yes.
Oh my lord!
Yeah,
You're
trying.
gonna make me die. You're gonna make me die.
What? Yeah, Ty. We're trying our best, but it's not easy with Paul because I text him. The thing is with him, he thinks if he goes on one Chelsea channel, it's going to be the other channels will think, he's taking sides. You know what I mean? He's that sort of person. Takes it personal. He's such a good bloke. I met him. I know, I met him, and he gave me, his book. I have his book here. The blue, true blue. Where is it here? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading a message from my brother Michael.
Black and
He
blue.
says,
The black and if you're black
yeah,
and blue. That's his book.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
story of his life. That you want to read this book is
And
unbelievable.
he will send me the links to the book. What Michael says, I'm going now. Thank you guys on the panel. God bless you guys. One love, Kuchila, safe journey. Thank you very much, my brother. I need that prayer. I know you understand how the country is at this point. But yes, I appreciate that prayer, and I can't thank you enough for it. Nick, are you done with your final thoughts? Just let me know.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go, carry on, Co.
All right, thank you very much. So with that, I say thank you to everybody on the panel, to everybody in the chat. TC, one of the queens of the house. Josh Viola, one of the queens of the house also. And you can say the leading queen of the house. I appreciate that. True Blue, always providing great value to the stream in the chat. I appreciate you joining always. And we've had a whole host of other people. Luke Paul, you were brilliant today. And other people that's been in the chat, Frizz or Ray Diamond and everybody. I just want to say thank you to all, everybody in the chat. You provide great value to the stream, and I cannot thank you enough. I hope to see you guys tomorrow in the chat for another Blue Morning show. So with that, I say bye. See you guys tomorrow, and God bless us all. Cheers.